So the moment has arrived, finally, because we certainly have been waiting. The upper bracket final, Falcons, Faze Clan. The repeat rematch of the Six Invitational 25 Grand Final arrives in Paris, and we head to Bank, Falcons map pick, to get it all underway.
So we'll see the operator bands roll through. Faze, of course, as expected, they will start out on defense. Bands are as follows: Mirror, Kaid on defense, and the side of the attack, Monty and Grim off the board. All four of these operators rather common on Bank. Mirror popular up above in Jan and down in Red Corridor. Kaid for the hatch-heavy play, especially basement. Monty's great for creating space, and Grim equally has been a high operator ban rate at this event so far, given his strengths.
Listen to that noise. Well, certainly no confusion as to which team this crowd will be cheering for. Undoubtedly, they want Falcons to win, to do so in a dominant fashion. Faze will begin on the defense of Bank. Again, to reiterate, this is the map pick of Falcons. They begin on the attack. You mentioned the bans, but I'm just drawn. Chyko gets Deimos, and with that comes a lot of power for Falcons.
Absolutely. Very useful in any potential map clear required in this opening round. KDS, open area, handy, Tellers, Cyber, Archives. Now, typically you anticipate the defense to peel rather early, but sometimes they commit. Sometimes they try and catch a timing or try and bring a higher tempo on the side of defense. Falcons will be clued into that, however, good yellow pings and 5 targets available to Chyko already.
A big watch here as well from Faze's perspective as to how aggressive they want to play in this opening round. They do have a somewhat roam-capable lineup, especially with the Soulless. Souls over towards Blue Stairs can hold for, well, at the time being until others rotate. Ideally, you would want Vidiking or Cyber to play that position, but Cyber currently in Archives. Has already blown up his Nitrocell, which is, funnily enough, the only one that Faze brought into this round. It does remove a little bit of late round denial later on, as we see the death mark for the first time from Chyko.
Cyber, though, able to deploy that new jam, a good counterplay onto the death mark. Handy also not far away to offer support. The third play here, though, from Falcons could be impactful.
Shot again through the floorboard, Lickyfack unable to find the opening kill. Not even any damage as well. But Faze are very much committing as Cyber falls by holding an Archive as Chyko. Of course it is that finds the opening kill of the upper bracket final. Back to basement for Faze, now down a player.
Yeah, Handy was able to rotate back over towards main stairs, so he retained life for the late round. But it is, of course, now a 4 versus 5 Faze to deploy their final reinforcements, and they have a decent amount of utility that they can still lay, but a lack of nitros could prove costly.
Soul's gonna be careful because Lickyfack is hunting. Straight down Blue Stairs, he finds his target and hits the mark. And they clear the way now towards the site. Falcons with the early advantage to begin this upper bracket final. KDS, Vidiking, and Handy, though, solid players, especially when Handy's still alive, Faze is still a chance. And we spoke about how this team has the capabilities of bringing back any man deficit.
Gas Fave deployed by Vidiking. 1 remains. Secondary hard breach opens route now towards default, but there's Prince Pressure Garage. Shut down. Main stairs up next.
Well, if this one loses the Lickyfack, that's going to bring it back to a 3v3. By the way, flooding into sight right now. Falcons are making their push. Brede will stick the plan. Oh, Vidiking uses got the team kill though onto Brede. Kid's still knocked down. Hitting headshots for fun as Handy by himself doesn't have the chance to deny this kid. He's towards Towers and it's shaping up.
Falcons ticking all the right boxes there in round number 1. A great clear over towards Archives and Tellers initially. Shaiko getting good value from the Deimos and drop Cyber at the midpoint of the round to give Falcons the advantage. They cleared blue nicely. They had route towards default. They identified that a flood was the most optimal win condition for them. And sure, Vidaking with a nice denial, but they swept into action. The backline from Falcons was really clean, and I think they'll be quite pleased with how this opening round has concluded.
I mean, I thought that was such a solid play from Vidaking to just disrupt that plant from going down. But Falcons had the numbers, they had the prio positions. So from basement to top floor, no repeat for Faze. Instead of opting to go for lockers and CCTV again, we head to CEO Executive for the second round.
Top floor is going to be rather challenging for defense in this first half. At least that's the expectation. Mira is banned out. The Capital selected by Bride is available. And so this should facilitate and allow for more direct hits from attack, more repel-centric play focused in on CEO itself, on that A objective, as opposed to, you know, needing to manufacture players over towards lobby, banana, Kanto, etc. Now they have the tools to do that as well. And so that's going to enclose this defense, and there should be a lot of perceived pressure on Faze if Falcons deploy this utility correctly. And don't forget Shaiko as well. He'll also be able to clear a lot of this utility and at least give Falcons a couple of backup options if required.
Very much should be able to get Kanto opened up with the X-Kairos. Oh, handy. Well, he finds a Nitro Salve. That was front desk over towards Solitov playing Repel. Opening kill goes the way of Faze. We've spoken about this, Gus. They don't get that often. 15th ranked at SI out of 20 teams. That's on the very low end for such a high-quality team. And they have an 80% round conversion rate. Without Solitov, this seemed now a little bit more difficult for Falcons. Oh, and a chance almost there for Leaky Fack as he watched Sniper run into Janitor. Bride then captures him. So one back pretty quickly in the round for Falcons. Heading into the final 90 seconds, still pretty even.
Yeah, very repel heavy still for Falcons. Bride still has quite a bit of utility at his disposal on the Capital, so they may still think about shaping up for a CEO window plant. That being said, strong positions held defensively from Faze. Vidaking as well, be able to sweep around. He has 3 gas babes available.
Oh, Licky Fack's
going in.
Through the smoke, blocks off towards front desk. Licky Fack is in. Gas babe actually thrown into airlock, so that's not going to connect. A misthrow from Vidaking. Licky Fack has snuck in behind the bomb chassis really early into the round. And honestly, Faze might not be aware of this at all. Licky Fack goes wandering. No! Oh, handy though! Headshot from front desk. Connects onto Licky Fack. And with users on the repel, and they've just lost Shaiko, Faze looks solid in this second round.
Looking really, really good. Bride still stranded on repel site. Users still on the opposing side over towards lobby. He'll go upside down and does plug plump, but traded by Handy.
Handy, 3 big kills. Bride still alive, 30 seconds in the 1v2. And he's going for the repel in towards top square. Handy's moves over to airlock. KDS by himself on the other side of Janitor. Bride will get the 1v1 against Handy. But with 15 seconds left, he needs to make his move. Needs to push in. 4K, 4 huge kills from Handy. Gets Faze on the board. The villains has struck.
Really good response there from Faze. Again, top floor without the mirror. We are anticipating it to be challenging. We saw the groundwork laid down by Falcons, range hard breach over towards Kanto. We saw Roteros flying all over the place from Shaiko. The castle barricades were dealt with by the attack. And even in that final portion, we saw Bride get a bit of a foothold in sight, which Faze weren't immediately aware of, or at least in an action. Bride had good repel position. He had utility that he could deploy, but Faze just disrupted that push. Really good work from Handy. Some really sharp shots landed from the rest of the Faze roster. And that's the line now, one piece.
Some really solid shooting on display in that round from Handy. One of the game's best as we head, I think, into a technical pause. A couple of teammates for Faze did unfortunately leave the lobby, but slowly 2 have made their way back in. 1 we still wait for. 1-1, perfect start really after 2 rounds. A glimpse of Falcons and a glimpse of Faze, both at their best. And funnily enough, in the 2 rounds, guys, it's kind of to script as to what we expected win conditions to be for both teams. In the opening round, Shaiko finds the entry, he gets a couple of kills, and he has an impact. In the second round, it's Faze's best player. It's Handy, one of the game's overall best players. As we head into the 3rd round, it is Staff and open area as we get back underway.
Yeah, Handy, certainly the unsung hero for Faze, probably doesn't get the same level of plaudits as some of the bigger, more popular names in the scene. He is currently top rated for Faze at the event. He's 15th overall for all players at SI 26, a 108 EPS, and the amount of big impact moments that he has had and could continue to have throughout the rest of this tournament may well be a difference maker. As we jump in, prep Phase round 3, open area selected by Faze.
Staff and open area sits at a 53% defensive win rate throughout Six Invitational 26, so slightly favoring the defense. But interestingly enough, with the map veto selections that we have, guys, Border and Bank are the 2 best maps in the pool for attackers. It means we should be set, at least for this final, to have a lot of fun, especially for both of these 2 teams being such strong attackers.
So the Ram in play from Falcons. And as expected, Solotov to drone early over towards CEO. Falcons want to contest up above, get control, and then work for to flush that defense back into a corner, back towards side. Flash is deployed.
Ooh,
and there's a contest. Handy's looking so good right now.
Users gets a trade onto Cyber. Handy, a 2nd opening kill in a row for him. It's not his strength. -6 over throughout the tournament, but he's found too quickly. Might take on the battle against Lickyback as well, and he does. Finds that kill. That was airlock swinging repelled from Handy. Pistol shot out from Brede. They're starting to lose some members, and they've certainly lost ground as Shaiko pushes in behind, playing off the shield, but KDS hits the shot anyway. Brede at least gets a response, but it certainly feels like Faze in the best position. Handy still towards airlock, needs to be cleared.
Vidaking and Handy both low on HP, but Brede now low also. He'll need to play so safe behind the shield and try to get users involved here.
Vidaking's pushing up square. Vidaking's looking to try and find an angle on Brede, pushes up square, can then play that hallway position. If Brede pushes back, he could very much die to Vidaking, who's now gone back down, bot square. Oh, and Handy gets caught though by users. 2v2 couldn't be any more equal considering the health margins of Brede and Vidaking. But information here for Souls. Unfortunately, shots not connecting though from that angle from below. 60 seconds left.
Brede with a couple of smokes that he can layer, but Souls likely to be the one at least for Faze here to try and step up and play the anchor role. Vidaking is so low on HP that it's difficult to be reliant on him to have impact later in this round. Falcons have a bit of time. They can work that. Oh, great drone as well here over towards lobby. Brede has 1 square as well. So Falcons, users and Brede specifically, should be able to ascertain a good read here as to where these anchors for Faze are positioned.
And on the flip side, Souls can get information himself as the Solus in terms of where that's kick coming from. Double push from Beepers. Users knows he needs to try and win these shots. Brede cannot be overly aggressive. With how low he is on health, even a shoulder shot will see him go down. Users has gone admin side, runs into Vidaking. Brede gets caught by Souls. Faze take the round. Despite a solid effort from Users and Brede, Faze hold on and they've taken the lead.
Very nice back-to-back rounds there from Faze. And it's back-to-back entry duels in favor of Handy on to Solotov. And so now the onus is on Falcons to try and step it up here and respond on a map that for them has been also strong in the past. Of course, as we conclude round 3 and prepare for the 4th, an additional ban for each team per side. Azami taken out for defense and the Capital critically taken out for the attack. And that may have impact. We saw it selected on basement, top floor, etc. Flush out when you think about red hall. We'll head to basement next. Can that maybe play further into the hands of Faze?
we look back at the highlights from the previous round, Handy again just having such an influence to begin on Bank. He has begun this match 6-2, 2-0 on the entry as well with a 195 EPS. Faze responding after losing the opening round, of which was on basement, and now where we return to.
10 seconds to go.
A change in lineup for Faze on the defense.
5 seconds to go.
Saw the Azami band away from Faze guards, but they actually haven't played the operator even once in the first 3 rounds. As for the Capital, 2 from 3 rounds, and a very vital attacking operator for Lockers and CCTV. Handy over towards Lone.
He wants to jump out.
He might find success as Lickifak makes his way as Handy's looking for his 3rd straight opening kill. Lickifak not aware, not ready for the power play from Handy. That's 3 straight from one of our game's best as he's making his impact known for FaZe. He's one of their win conditions and he is showing up.
That entry battle continues to trend in favor of FaZe. And they very infrequently will throw advantages such as this. Falcons do have time on their side, but for a basement hit, you need tradability.
There's
you
no
need
one
to be able
close.
to throw bodies.
You're just clearing out an Archives Teller's position where there's no one holding. Already Faze with that opening kill means that most KDS can stay open area, get rid of a few drones. Doesn't get rid of that drone from users, but drops anyway. 5 in sight now for Faze. It's the perfect way that you want to start Lockers and CCTV.
Yep. FaZe will be feeling very comfortable. They have double nitro for denial. They also have souls on the smoke. 3 gas babes remain. FaZe will forfeit blue control, but with a player up, that's okay. Falcons, midpoint of the round, will start to encroach on site, can begin to open up default with the secondary hard breach from Brede, and then they have a big, tough decision to make. Do we try and tease the default? Do we attempt to go deep early? What will be the plan here for Falcons?
3 gas babes. You've got the Nitrosol from Cyber. Brede going for the plant with users in front. This might be successful. Oh! Nitro shot out! The second one does connect, and while the plant does go down, Falcons have lost too many members now, surely, for this post-plant retake. Solotov has got to connect with this DMR.
Shaiko, open area. He will need to cut off this flank.
3 pushing his way. Can Shaiko make this his moment? He spots one. Headshot, didn't spot the left though. There's a chance that Handy had caught him off guard. Cyber getting on for the kit. They combine together. FaZe are gonna make it 3 straight here on Bank. Falcons map pick. And they're 3-1 down.
Beautiful from FaZe. Sure, you could maybe make the argument that letting the plant go down was a mistake. They didn't layer the utility early enough in that round. But as we've seen from them and plenty of teams at the event, retake has been strong.
In full aggro now, what we can do is just, for example, for CO, we bring full execute, just street run and push, you know, like with Brede, Blitz trading, our rush, okay? Or we just be more annoying, for example, open area as well, we go side, we smoke, we bait that we have glass, we have anything inside, and then we rotate, you know. Now we're just like trying to do the default, and they're just like in our face, you know. So let's just be more annoying, like more baiting, 3-2, 4-1, less obvious, okay? But big side executes and we just rush them.
I think
the operators they are playing are not good against executes, you know.
If you go sur, in fact, you're gonna go blast stash if you. Yeah, I would. You just need to be careful about the.
Well, Julia doesn't seem too distressed, too worried. It's only 3-1 down. We had a couple of strategies regarding the next site that's coming our way. CEO executive and a chance for Falcons to respawn. Then they will need to. But so far, where they're losing the battle, and this is where it's interesting from a strategical depth analysis, is it's everything we didn't expect. We expected Falcons to get opening kills. We expected Falcons to do well early on, FaZe to be at the deficit, bring the rounds back. On the flip side, guys, what's happening is it's 3 opening kills straight for Handy. FaZe is starting the round strong, and they're following through.
Great retake there from FaZe, and as I was kind of finishing my point, retaking has certainly entered the meta a lot more. I've felt it particularly at this event. Teams, especially if they have a strong advantage, which FaZe clearly did in that situation, aren't too worried about denying the plant when they can flood numbers, get position, and retake site in the fashion in which they did. That was really clean siege from FaZe. And yet, you're right, credit goes to Handy. He continues to limit test Falcons. He's doing it again. This man has absolutely no fear in this upper bracket final right now.
Surely it's not a way to get a fourth straight, right? Falls away from that one, back towards front desk. He's also picked up his pacing in the opening kills for Handy. 207, 218, 236, and now it will be lower. He tried, to be fair.
He did.
With that early positioning. So top floor, CEO executive. Handy's fallen back towards the side after that initial peak, and so far then back to default positions outside of KDS, who is in towers right now. And those are the small opportunities for Falcons that they need to try and be either aware of or take an aggressive stance against. If KDS gets droned out, we need to try and kill him.
Liquefac will lurk. Can he find the kill for Falcons?
He's got the ping, he's got the information. Grismot Mine, though, delays, disorientates. And making his way down main stairs is Vidiking, feeling like KDS might just be starting to get overwhelmed. A chance again for Liquefac. Vidiking just holding from main stairs. Flash off the wall. KDS, though, he outswings Liquefac. Another opening kill for Faze. And Cyber, though, gives a freebie. What was that?
That was ambitious. That was very ambitious. And it equalizes the man count. Candela's to be cooked by Bride. The Falcons now see this as an opportunity to start exploiting the site. Janitor is clear.
Not yet, though. Eustace is only just getting into repel position for Kanto and open that up, especially with both Souls, Vidiking playing that hallway position. There's still more work to be done. You send it in right now, you're probably going to lose this. You want to keep those backside players towards main stairs, towards the elevator. Not so much then having the ease ability to slip in through long desk and Janitor and then get better lines of sight. Still over a minute left. Neither team has to panic. Souls is trapped right now. Vidiking makes the cross. He actually just didn't even get shot by Eustace. Must have unpeaked at the wrong time. Shaiko droning his way through top square. And Bride might go for a top square repel in as well. It seems like maybe Falcons will abandon the more so repel-centric strategy, although Bride has now shuffled back over, and he's the one with the kit.
Structurally, it looks so similar to the last round out. Solotov wins the fight.
And they might go off that. Bride might go into airlock, and then they probably need to. Just lost Solotov. Bride still on the repel, can't find an angle. And he's kept his position in a really good spot. Shaiko gets rid of Vidiking. 1v1 against KDS in the hallway. Shaiko gets him with the headshot. Bride wins from the repel. There are Falcons.
There we go. High fives all around for Falcons as they respond in round number 5. A 2-3 scoreline and an opportunity here on Attack Bank to equalize that scoreline. Structurally, the late round there from both teams positionally, especially from the defensive phase, was rather similar. But that timeout, great disrupt over towards lobby stairs. We saw Solotov finally get in on the action and have impact in this match. He gets 2 in the round, nets a key one over towards elevator, and then Handy, critically, was ultimately shut down as well. Questions to be asked of Cyber. That jump out attempt is highly, highly ambitious. But when Falcons found that trigger point with about 30 to 40 seconds on the clock, they made it count. And Shaiko looks very, very sharp so far today as well.
So 2-3, just like that. And honestly, if this gets to a 3-3 half, it's probably par for the course for both teams. On a map that's pretty close to that 50-50 metric. It's, I believe, well, looking at the stats, it's 52 to 48 in favor of defense. But at that point, it's really difficult to split hairs. For all intents and purposes, a 3-3 half sounds about right. Staff in open area is where we go for the final round of this opening half. 4 rounds straight that Faze have gotten the opening kill. 2 onto Liquefac and 2 onto Solotov. If Falcons flip that, they'll be in a position they haven't been in since the opening round, of which they converted. 8-3 start for Handy, but interestingly enough, it's only Vidiking that also finds himself as the only other one positive for Faze. Cyber 1-4, Souls 1-3, KDS 3-4. It's all on Handy to perform right now for Faze.
So once again then, early drone work, top floor here from Falcons. A bit of utility clearance as well with the explosives that they have on offer, chipping away at these castle barricades that Handy has deployed to try and stall out this push, to try and dissuade the top floor clear. No ram this time out for Falcons, and that may be indicative of a slightly different game plan from them, but it's Liquefac elsewhere. to find Handy, who finally will fall on entry.
Yeah, that's a ATM's peak towards front desk. Good angle. DMR for Liquefact gives him the advantage. Poor old Handy just trying to, of course, be the one to make something happen, but then that comes with the risk-reward factor. In this case, the risk. Now he's the opening death. The star player for Faze down. Finally an opening kill for Falcons. They got 90 seconds to take advantage of the situation they find themselves in as we see a pre-placed Nitrocell by Cyber.
Vidiking as well will make a final stand over towards Jan. Is this a position that Falcons are ready to clear? Are they aware of this position? Because Vidiking from here can have big impact. He's not necessarily forced to drop. Also presence inside of stock, mind you. Nitrocell shot out. Nice from Solotov. And there's the drop. Vidiking also did get caught in the meantime.
KDS is in a position as he has to drop. Liquefact was pushing top main stairs. He couldn't even opt to take the battle with Solotov, even if he wanted to. Forced into the drop. Good positioning by Falcons. They've got the two-player advantage now. Cyber's position also, well, was about to be known. Over towards bot main. He could push up blue stairs. Shaiko just sits prone towards top square. Keeps that position on the lock and key for Falcons. It leaves then poor old KDS and Souls as the only two on site for Faze, and Souls has been obliterated. KDS the only one on site. Cyber can push out a blue. Should have gotten that kill. He does. Converts. Finally makes amends. But up close towards Beepers. Here comes Solotov and Liquefact. 2 in a row for Falcons. And we are tied at the end of the opening half.
Better signs from Falcons to conclude the half. That's the kind of Falcons that we expected to see more of here on Bank. But they've given themselves a strong foundation, a 3-3 half as they now prepare for defense. Really like their ability in that last round to finally shut down Handy, who has been a menace so far in this series. That was facilitated by really good utility clearance on the top floor in the preset position on Repel from Liquefact, who lands his shot. Flood elsewhere was really, really clean. Falcons playing as one in that final attack.
So all tied at the half. It's been a roller coaster of a first half. Falcons came out of the gates, got the crowd on their feet, then 3 straight to Faze before Faze gave up 2 rounds straight to Falcons, leaving us tied right where we began at the start of this upper bracket final. Falcons now go defense. The bands Monty, Grim, Mira, and Kaid, as Lockers and CCTV will be the site choice to begin the second half.
So to be a mirror of that first half in terms of the bands, they are all but identical as it stands from here. Neither team wanting to throw anything too wild into the mix for the next 6 rounds. As you mentioned, it's basement for the opening site, again anticipated on Bank. The question will be though for Falcons is how aggressive do they wish to play offsite? You do have the potential to do that with the Mozzie in play. You have some trap utility as well that you could disperse quite far from the objective as well. This doesn't necessarily for Falcons need to be, and we've seen this at the events about, it doesn't have to be an instant drop over towards Red Hatch. They could look to take at least a couple of fights and be quite aggressive in targeting the drone economy here of Faze.
You say that, but I just can't help but get the feeling it'll be pretty default. A little bit of pressure, staff open area. Not quite the overextension where you're very much wanting to stay and risk a fight, an opening death. Take a freebie if you can get it, sure, if it's presented, but don't need to go searching. You have enough denial. Double Nitro, 3 gas babes, goo mines, F-not mines. There's enough there in terms of utility for later in the round. As the goo mine stepped on by Vidiking, does seem to take 2 ticks of damage. Opens up electrical. It's Liquefact towards Archives and Solotov towards Tellers. If you're playing that sort of position though, guys, that says to me you want to bring aggression in the round for the defense.
Yeah, the positions that Falcons are playing right now, not the easiest in the world to peel from, especially.
Liquefact's top square. Like, this is so aggressive.
Yeah. This is a long way away from sight. Will it work though for Falcons? Early fight from Solotov, both players survive.
There is no one outside terrace pushing into square, so despite Liquefact's position, no one coming his way. Souls towards first floor elevator, has the kit, but he does opt for the drop. You can see the blue outline. That's users sitting below. Free kill for users. That's kit down. Bottom elevator. Second as well from users. They went for a double drop pinch from Vault and Elevator. Users, though, so well placed. Amazing reaction. Solitar wins his battle against Andy. This is going to be a case of Trey again later. Faze as Falcons are making a mockery of this attack. So well played. Flawless from Falcons. They retake the lead for the first time since the opening round.
Well, we saw the game plan there from Faze. They wanted to avoid the roam at all costs. Was there maybe, though, a lack of intel actually down towards the objective? It didn't seem like they were fully aware exactly what they were pushing into. Their timing wasn't awful. Users, though, was able to deny and hit a really key double in that round. Here is a highlight of that. Bang with the first. He'll call the diffuser, likely spotted it. There's the follow-up from KDS. Just maybe a little bit out of sync, but really difficult to fault him.
Oh my.
Sharp shots across the board as Falcons ramp up here on Bank.
I guess the crowd ramped up as well, doesn't it? 3 rounds straight for Falcons. And while they certainly didn't look out of it, guys, they were 3-1 down to Faze, and Faze looked incredible. Handy was just doing what he wanted. There was no one that could stop him. But he's 8-5 now. He has been stopped. He has been slowed down. He's not quite rampaging around the map as he was to begin in that opening half. Suddenly looking a little bit more human.
Attackers are moving out.
Needing others on Faze to stand up as Falcons have refound their mojo. And it's an even spread. 6 for Shaiko, Licky Black, and Users. 5 for Solitop. Burrito's got 4 of his own. It's Falcons as a team right now. That is seeing them get through this opening map. Their map pick of Bank.
And that was really the storyline for FaZe heading into this matchup. Their highest rated player at the event overall, 15th. We expected to see really strong team play from FaZe, and we've seen glimpses of it, but Falcons have brought it to a next level so far. As we head to top 4, and it's the sense to be selected by FaZe. So the anticipation in this round is for the sense with those ROUs to facilitate a plant CEO. Now that's the typical game plan, but we're in an upper bracket final in SI. Wouldn't be shocked if we see some variant to that.
I mean, you're already seeing variance in small doses, just even in the way that Falcons played that last round with Lorca CCTV. Licky Fat pushing top square. You don't see that all that often. It's an ultra-aggressive play. Playing even Tellers and Archives instead of Staff and Open. So on a very micro scale, you see, oh my goodness, 3s off screen. Making the round's basically done. We saw 1 kill. FaZe just completely destroyed Falcons in that round. Where did that come from? A solid 3-2-1 go hit into the map has seen this all tied up 4-4 in the blink of an eye.
Very unusual that you will see a trigger point in a round so early, like we did there from FaZe. They established good information and they were able to action it so quickly, not giving Falcons any opportunity to respond. Didn't allow them to play around some of the wing cons that they did have available. Strong repel from Jane. I mean, it was just ultra aggression from FaZe. Ascend up Banana, repel down Skylight. Didn't give up an opportunity, like I mentioned, for Falcons to be able to respond, lay a utility, find trades.
Handy again though, isn't it?
Yeah.
He gets the opening pick, he got a second follow-up as well, but it's also the fact that they're playing off him. We're going to push up, Nana. We're going to try and take space. We're going to create these fights. You're in a great position. Upside down repel. They might not be wary for that. And also, from the defender's angle, it's like, who do you take the fight against? The guy pushing up Banana Stairs or the guy who's down on the Skylight? You can't really get both. It's a difficult trade. So you kind of then sometimes even get caught in the middle. Very quick aggression from FaZe. And for what it's worth, guys, we've now played 8 rounds. Only 1, the opening kill was not converted. That was back in round 5. Otherwise, it's a very strong conversion rate heading into the second half of this opening map. These opening kills are mattering.
Yeah. Open area for round 9. Handy given the license on the Nook.
He's playing outstanding right now. You've just got to give him his flowers. He's been a difference maker.
Absolutely.
He doesn't perform like this. Faze are probably down 6-2 or something. Like, it's that much of an impact. Nitro Solitov, a decent effort through the floorboard, but it doesn't hit KDS. He survives.
KDS on the ramp this round. And so Faze will be rather eager to contest this upstairs extension from the defense, facilitated by users primarily on the castle and those in support, like Solitov, for instance. Oh, below with Nitro.
Oh, it's Handy again! Oh, he's making such a big statement. The trade from users, it's there, sure. But Handy again does his job, gets rid of a roaming Solitov on the Mozzie. 11-6 now for Faze, a superstar. But fortunately, with users getting that trade, it does limit his damage. Now, no longer being able to lurk on that Nook. Faze lose a lot of aggression from here for the rest of their attack in this round.
Oh, look at back.
Where's he going?
That was not the play. Caught by Cyber, and Faze now with the advantage. And they have a lot of time. They have a decent pocket of view till Falcons find them very quickly, already on the back foot.
Users also getting tagged up, a combination of KDS and Vidiking. Users, I don't know if staying around here is the right option. He keeps peppering, wanting to take this battle against Cyber. They lose Shaiko, unable to make an impact. Users, well, you kept on trying, sure, but you were low health, and Faze have been able to take the lead once again here on Bank. The boos do nothing against these Titans. 5-4 up for Faze on Falcons map pick.
Another great round from Faze. Able to leverage Handy again. ATMs, gets the opening kill. It threw that defense into disarray. Liquefact gets caught. Users get stranded mainstairs. He can't get anywhere close to the objective to be impactful. He gets pinched. So that's 3 key moments in the round, heavily tilted towards Faze. Now, can Falcons dig deep here? We return to basement and an opportunity for them to resettle themselves.
And again, the operator bands here, the Capitao, the Valkyrie, we haven't seen those selected, but it's a case of just not wanting them to be able to be selected within the next 3 rounds. They're strong operators on this map especially, so don't give the opposition a chance. Maybe they were just keeping them hidden for the first 3 rounds. Solid bands, despite not either of those operators being picked.
Attackers have located a bomb.
So you look at the lineup here then from Falcons, and in contrast to last time, where they played very roam heavy, offside, trap util, etc., etc.
This is bunker.
They've gone complete opposite. They've got the Echo for info and plant now. They've got Bride. He can play a deep pocket and look to use his Shamika over towards default. You have Solitov as well, which will be aiding in the drop and can disrupt with his Zoto canisters. Of course, with Nitro and Classic. We have Smoke in play for Bank Basement. And you think about combining all of that utility together. It could be either layered one-dimensionally over towards default and suck up a lot of time from the attack, or it can be dispersed. It can be used for the back hit, maybe even Garage. So there's options available here for Falcons, and Faze will really want to be quite quick in the early portion of this round.
Handy's going to go Garage. Handy has to go Garage here on a Nook lurk.
Yeah.
And so that's going to be a big factor in this round, because I don't know if anyone's going to be necessarily playing Garage for Falcons at this point. Usus is on the Echo. He's not going to be the one that wants to swing this, check this. Like, Handy can take a lot of space here. There's no one here defending this Garage lurk on the Nook. Handy could push so deep.
Users has a camera, but has he spotted the Nook? Exactly.
He has.
I think.
Or maybe, I would imagine he has. Yeah, he's absolutely spotted this. Handy's position is known. There's the drop down. They're going to try and get him pinched. Oh, Handy headshot onto Solitov. That is a huge kill. And the second, make it 3, Handy. Why not? Just go for it, son. But Liquefact shuts him down. He had every single right to attempt that against Liquefact. 2 down. Most importantly, now there's no Echo.
Well, Handy's dead, but at what cost for Falcons? A marvelous solo play there from Handy, and now the onus on the rest of Faze to convert this advantage. An advantage that they have found themselves in on a couple of occasions at this event so far, but typically do a really, really good job at converting. It's full basement for Falcons. They'll play side. But this is tough. There's so much time on the board here for Faze to go for any style of push they like. They can go default, they can go drop, they can send someone gold, they could even lurk Garage. There's so many options available. As you're pointing out though, to me in person, there's also equally a lot of denial utility for Falcons. So this isn't 100% Faze's round to lose. Falcons could bite back here, but they need to be super efficient in how they deploy this utility. They have to get maximum value from Liquefact, from Brede, and then allow Shaiko to do the shooting.
Can Shaiko do said shooting? That's got to be his sole focus here. It's all handy on one side. Falcons have been team-orientated, sure, and that's great. But Shaiko falls to Cyber. He's now going negative here at the live stage in front of his crowd, in front of his people. Leaves it now down to Brede and Liquefact with 25 seconds. This seems shambolic now for Falcons, but Liquefact gets another crucial kill. Trade. Faze have just got the numbers. They've got everything. The site, the round, and soon to be, maybe the map.
They did such a good job to convert that advantage. They did a phenomenal job up above to shut down Shaiko, and then the late pivot main to prevent any form of plant denial in the dying seconds as well. Beautiful to watch from Faze, and they are now on map point here on Bank, and critically, the selection of Falcons as we start thinking about Border, a map which we didn't even expect to see in this series. It feels like Faze are in a really good spot right now.
Very good spot indeed. Well, who's going to be the one to stand up for Falcons? 2 rounds needed straight. Shaiko going negative. Solotov is going negative. Those 2 players have been the highest rated players for Falcons throughout this Six Invitational. Shaiko had a plus 47 kill differential, plus 12 opening kills, and 17 multi-kill rounds coming into today. But he's 6 with 7 deaths. I had to pause there. There's no world in which we can say those numbers combined ever again. 2 rounds straight for Falcons. Who's going to be the one to stand up? Right now it's Liquefact leading the way. But Handy's the one that you've got to shut down. He's just doing whatever he wants. Plays the hard breach ace. Here for the first of 2 match point rounds for Faze.
Yeah, double ranged hard breach in combination with Cyber on the Habana for this round. And so there should be a lot of repel play here from Faze in this round. They'll create long lines of sight, especially if and when they can disrupt the band of batteries over towards Kanto. They'll look to repel lobby, site itself, and try to cut off this Falcons defense. They can then lay a utility and try to catch a misstep. This info from Vidaking really helps in aiding this playstyle from Faze. That's a great drone. That will feed really good info.
They can,
for the rest of this attack.
Someone has to sit this cam and see this front desk player and whether or not they've got the ability to peek if they want to push up upstairs. Cyber, well, gets Liquefact down on 1 HP. He can't make the cross. We saw him try and place that Kiba barrier, but it wasn't enough. The angle was still there for Cyber. Liquefact will go down. It's another opening kill for Faze. They have dominated in this department, despite us not feeling that would be the case coming into this match. Now they look for the flush onto users.
Here's a utility layering from Faze to deal with the bandit batteries and to try and displace users who cannot return to maintain control of that Kanto wall. He is now trapped for the remainder of the round.
But he's got help from Solotov. Still in a good position. So if they make their way up, Faze are not aware of Solotov's
good
spot
grenade
playing towards front desk, but they are aware. The nade does connect, they clear them both out, it's as simple as that. And with those 2 kills, it's suddenly down to Shaiko and Brede. Gets one, traded though, it's not been his map. 9-4 Falcons as a team, because the reigning champions have arrived in Paris as they take the opening map of this upper bracket final. Falcons map belongs to Faze.
Wow, what a performance from Faze on Bank. Really clean work across the board. They have manipulated Falcons exactly how they wanted to. It's 14 kills for Handy, and it's back to the drawing board for Falcons in preparation for a border that should be very, very intriguing.
Faze have not won the map of border when they pick it, and they did. We go to the break with Faze one map away from the Six Invitational Grand Final.
was Falcons map pick? What part of the plan went wrong?
I think we had the plan at the start, it was good. And I think Faze adapted really well at the end. And with just some small mistakes, like doing early kills and stuff, like giving early kills. So I think it's mainly this, and I think we'll try to fix it for the next map.
We spoke about some negative stats, important stats from Faze Clan, but you still managed to win in SI. You're here fighting for another hammer, you just won a map. What is so special about Faze Clan?
Acho que o nosso diferencial maior é realmente o coletivo. Acho que a gente joga um pelo outro e isso transforma a gente numa grande equipe.
Thank you. I think what makes us special is that we play like a team. We play for each other, and that makes us a great team.
Faze have absolutely shown us amazing teamwork. They snatched this first map out of the hands of Falcons, and I thought Bank was Falcons or Europe's domain.
It was Europe's domain. In fact, Falcons have not slot that map against any other regions than Europe since the Jönköping Major in 2022. That's how long it's taken for them to fall to a Brazilian team on Bank. That's how big the miracle from Faze was.
And how did they do it? It was mainly Handy on the entry. And it's not just the fact that he was getting so many entry kills. In fact, I looked at Faze's record over the last year on Bank. Their average entry time was 1 minute 30 left on the clock. Today, against Falcons, it was over 2 minutes. They were more than 20% faster than they normally are on this map, Leo.
And the main reason for that, you have it on your screen, Handy. Absolutely insane, both in the defense and the attacks, finding the opening kills. Really said it best. We're giving way too many opening kills, well, that's the truth. 8 out of 11, 6 of them were Handys. Handy right now is the one dominating the server. And that is a big problem because he said it best. The best quality of Faze is that team play. So what is happening right now? Falcons are on the nerves. They're losing their entry kill. Then what happens afterwards? They give more and more space. And what happens when you give space to a team like Faze? They will take it and they will crush you flawlessly, not leaving a single gap. Handy right now is the one-man army, the one guy to shut down.
And Faze are that team that if you let them set up, they don't make silly mistakes. They don't give away man advantages generally. So the fact that Handy, and he is the one that's forcing the pace. Of course, it's a whole team effort, but he's the one that was so good on the entry. He's forcing the pace. He's winning those entry engagements. He's the one single-handedly putting Falcons under pressure.
There was no sugarcoating in those interviews because I feel like what the players said really reflects what we're seeing inside of the match as well, with Handy and Faze playing for each other, getting those entries, playing off amazing teamwork that we're seeing as well. I mean, the crowd here, they're backing Falcons, but so far it seems like they might be on the losing hand.
It's fine. I would say this, it's the first map of a BO3. We're looking at a team that has been consistently reaching grand finals. No, this is not only copium, I think it's experience. And I will say this, Border is the perfect map to reset. It plays out entirely different from Bank. It's all about the gunfights. They need to start winning those opening engagements.
I was about to say, who's been winning the gunfights, Leo? It's been Handy.
So far, it's been Handy.
It's been Handy.
From one map to another, everything can change.
I didn't quite get the Border pick. I really wasn't quite sure on the Border pick, but then seeing Faze that are a much faster Faze than we've seen in the group stage, that are really taking the fight to Falcons, it does make me wonder. I think they've got a few tricks up their sleeve come Border.
We're looking at the Xbox fan cam, of course, showing our fans in the arena so far, where we talked about, the majority is favoring Falcons here, of course, with their hometown heroes. But I want to talk about Border a little bit more. It's a very frag-heavy map, right? It's all about taking space, something we've been seeing Falcons do a lot. What is it? Sorry, Faze do a lot. What is it that Falcons need to do to get back ground?
Be disruptive. That's the main thing, right? Because right now they're so afraid of taking the gunfights, they keep on giving space to Falcons to set up. Most of it, honestly, from outside as well. And so if you give that space, Faze is just taking it and just executing things step by step, methodically, and there's nothing you can do. I think for me, it starts by being aggressive on Border, trying to bring the pace back to you. In the end, who has the fragging power in this matchup? If you think about the two quality of these two teams, Faze, they have the team play and the adaptation. Falcons, they should have the best gunners. They should go onto Border and be happy about just bringing it to a gunfight. Because if in the end, it's all about the team play, Faze will win at that game.
Is that crazy P word, right? Pressure. Falcons seemed like they were under pressure because of what Faze were doing on Bank. You don't let that happen on Border, like you say. I think just be a little bit more dynamic from the Falcons' point of view. Take some risks, have a little bit of fun. That's when we've seen them play their best Siege. When they've got that energy, they're having a little bit of fun, and they're not letting the pressure affect them.
They're so used to winning that grand final or that upper final. They're so used to it. It's fine. Use that life. You have one. You can go to the lower bracket. Maybe it will break the curves. It's fine. Just have fun and play with your gunfights because it is the one thing that they have, that mechanical skill that can put them on the edge.
So fight fire with fire is what I'm hearing here. But we have Maria speak to our players. We also want to check in with the coaches.
What is your expectation for the map Water? They usually don't pick that map. They might have an ace up on their sleeve. Who knows?
I think it's a map we like. Props to them for Bank. They play really well. And now we go for Border. And I think we got a lot of understanding on how they're playing now. And gonna fix for Border.
Border doesn't suit that well FaZe Clan playstyle, so just tell me, what was the plan behind that pick?
Border é um mapa que a gente tá gostando de jogar agora, né? A gente não tinha ele, mas agora a gente passou a gostar. Então, acredito que a escolha foi porque a gente achou que eles eram piores nesse mapa e a gente resolveu escolher.
Okay, we kind of started to like this map now, so we want to play that, and we think they are worse than us, so that's why we are choose that map also.
We already talked about it. Fight fire with fire. I want to talk about specific players maybe on the side of Falcons as well. Is there anybody that really needs to step it up going into the second map?
I mean, there's a clear candidate here. I think the real thing is Solotov. For me. I mean, he's been losing almost all the entries. He's 0-4 right now.
Yeah.
He used to be the one that carried Falcons all the way to that main stage tag. I don't know what you think. But for me, Solotov is the one that needs to step up in the entry department.
I was thinking that man on your screen, Leaky Fact. I think when you're in a bit of a hole, when they were on Bank, when they were clearly doing their defaults, Falcons were not doing anything different from their default, and FaZe have come with a very clear game plan. You look to your IGL to think his way out of it. I think maybe they dropped a little bit on Bank. Coming to Border, Julio actually said something in that interview just then. We know how they play now. And that was key for me. FaZe have turned up with a different game plan to what Falcons are expecting, so Falcons now need to think their way out of this problem.
I see one key weakness in the game plan from FaZe right now. Pretty much everything we've seen is all 5 players committing to step 1, then all 5 players to step 2, then again the same thing. Which means that most of the time, there is no backstab, there is no back pressure. Use that to your advantage. Double up on every gunfight. Because you know there's no backstab coming, you can abuse that.
Now, there's one more question I have before we dive into the second map here. If you win today, that means you do have a day off tomorrow and you go directly to the finals. Is that an advantage, or do you feel like you might be a little bit cool going into
Well, let's check the math, Jack.
Yeah, I know. I mean, history does tell us the team that wins Six Invitational comes from the lower bracket, so maybe. I don't know.
May as well lose it. Just break the curse.
Oh,
I don't care. Everything it takes.
Be careful. FaZe is one map away from making it to the grand final. Or can Falcons bounce back and get a serious match going on here? Map 2 is upon us.
Well, Helfama says just lose it. I don't think that's on the game plan for FaZe. They want to win it as they took Bank. They now go to their map pick on Border, and we are split 50-50 heading into this second map. The reigning SI champions, because they're only one map away from another grand final. It would be 3 straight.
I wouldn't put it past Falcons, though, to respond. Bank wasn't their best performance, but here on Border, if they can get those fraggers activated, I reckon they can still send us to a third.
Who for Falcons will be the one to rise to this occasion on this stage in front of their fans in their home arena, the Adidas Arena? Falcons must respond here on Border. It is the map pick of FaZe, but it's Falcons to take. So we head into the second map of the upper bracket final, and it is now FaZe, one map away from repeating yet another SI Grand Final appearance. As they did in Sao Paulo, as they did in Boston, now so close to doing the same here in Paris.
Let's see these operator bands roll out then. First wave, Azami Deimos, followed up by the Smoke and the Grim. We saw quite a bit of Deimos gameplay back on Bank. It's one of the favored tools from Shaiko. We also saw Cyber dabble in that as well, but it's taken off Border, and understandably so, given just how much vert potential this map has to offer.
Well, the desk was talking about who are the ones to stand up for Falcons. Licky Fact from an IGL perspective, maybe Solotov from an entry perspective, Shaiko just from a Shaiko perspective. The #1 rated player at this point in the tournament that's still remaining. This is his map, surely, a map like Border. But for FaZe, handy. What if he stays at that level of form? at peak of his power on Bank. If that returns on a map like Border, that's a huge positive for Faze. But if he does cool off, who then can step up to take his place on this map?
So Armory Archives then the opening site choice here from Faze, who have brought double Nitro, the Goyo as well. So they have a lot of toolage to counteract a plant over towards default position, over towards Carpet in Archives. I like the addition of the mirror here as well. That may allow Handy and Faze to gain more information, take more contact battles. We'll see where the mirror windows themselves are established, but they can be so powerful on Border. Being such a compact map, you can get some really good vertical control with those windows. Oddly enough, he actually did place one outside Armory lockers, so that makes the balcony push a little bit trickier. But we're on the opposing side of the map currently. It's Brede on the Monty, looking to take ground over towards East Stairs, but Souls is lurking down below.
Brede has drone information, by the way, from Shaiko. Means that he's able to push in top East Stairs a little bit more comfortably. Momentarily has been forced back. Air jab going out from Shaiko. Just to make sure that Vidican can't go for a swing. The flash, well, that's unsuccessful. Not quite down bottom of East Stairs, which would have affected Souls, who sits down in that position. KDS over towards security. Holds around that banana desk. And so far, for Faze, nothing out of the ordinary on this opening defense. They're keeping as much map control as possible. They're trying to deny Falcons the ability to get into this map freely. So they're bringing aggression on the defense, but it's not over-aggression. Great Nitro Cell gets Brede down to half health. Vulcan canister popped. So Faze right now in their time management, in their map space management, they're doing everything right.
And with the mirror window, it makes this push forward so challenging. Faze dumping utility onto Falcons. But there's the response, the flash, and KDS forced back.
Another flash as well connects, full white for KDS. No follow-up though from Falcons. Leaky Fack, the entry goes down as he made his first step into the building. Cyber was waiting on the vigil. Solotov up close, trade though from Brede. Sorry, there was KDS. Brede needs to get involved and push into the site. There's under 50 seconds remaining as Shaiko takes space inside security.
Does he have a read onto KDS? That's the question.
Brede's by himself. He's in Armory. He's in the site. KDS can't hit the shots though onto Shaiko. Again, Brede is just playing by himself up close against Handy.
Shaiko's trapped. Can he fight himself out of this position?
Oh, he can! Step up shot from Shaiko, but still low on health. What they need though is users to get involved, still outside of the map.
20 seconds, Handy misses an opportunity. Can they isolate the Monty? 15 seconds, flank from Souls.
Staying prone, Shaiko low, caught, Souls wins that battle. Brede might have to get aggressive, gets hold, pistol, does it himself, down to Souls. Brede will have to plant, can Souls win the battle against users, getting like pinged, but no, doesn't help. Falcons take the opening round on Border.
Super high intensity in that opening round, but that is the expectation when you go to Border. Intensity will be high in every single round, but Falcons were able to extract value from key players. Brede on the Monty, he stays alive, allows the push into sight, buys time for users, and don't forget Shaiko in that round either. Sure, you could credit him as being a little bit lucky in not dying over towards Banana Desk, but he made sure Faze were punished for that error.
This is the moment, up, bang, and he had to be quick with those shots. Brede as well held so much position for Falcons in that round towards the site of Armory. Didn't panic. He knew, yes, I'm low on health, but I'm still the Monty. Shield up, not much Andy can do. Opening round to Falcons, but that was the same case back on Bank. Ben Workshop.
Yeah. And the Clash in combination with the Pulse as well. But we expected this from Faze. Well, we didn't expect Border, but now that we're here, the expectation is for them to maybe throw the rules of a classic Border out the window a little bit and show us what they have prepared here, what pocket strats are available for them to dip into to try and find an advantage over Falcons.
If there's a map where you can throw the rulebook out and have some fun, create the chaos, it's got to be Border. Yeah. The most attack-sided map, although it only sits at roughly 50-50 anyway. with how defender side of the vast majority of the map pool is. Now, Vidiking and Handy, I mean, so much information that those two can actually gain in this round. Playing the Solus, playing the Pulse, and then you have the Clash as well for late round. Can sit around the site, can help others out if they're taking contact fights, the nice swings towards 90 like that. Now, like the lineup here for Faze, it means for Falcons, they're going to have to deconstruct it.
Cyber goes investigating, and he finds detention opened up. Some good perceived pressure then on offer from Falcons to try and keep this Faze defense honest here in round number 2. The drone work as well here from Falcons has been phenomenal. They've cleared customs, they've cleared waiting, they've got Shaco established on East Stairs. And so they can start to encroach the lobby side of the map and maybe consider more of a focus horizontally. And that may take the Pulse, for instance, out of play a little bit more. But if they don't contest the Vert, that may enable Handy, for instance. So a lot of chess games taking place at the moment.
Tap, 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 not connecting though. Solotov, the one that's come off worse from those attempts. Vidiking inside office. Of course, he'd have the information from the cardiac sensor. Shaiko goes down towards the main hallway. He will fall. Oh, not yet eliminated. DB&O. KDS that finds the opening kill, eventually finishing off the start fragger for Falcons.
This gunfight continues to rage. KDS alive, Liquefact will bite back.
And just before Souls as well could get into a good position, block off the doorway from Break. Under a minute, 4v4. Both teams capable in this second round.
Oh, but here's the lurk through lobby from Falcons as Solotov nets a kill. It's advantage Falcons.
Bride and Liquefact together. Smoke goes out. Bride will go for the plant inside of the smoke. Throw the flash from Liquefact to deny anyone up close. Bride gets off.
Handy saw it.
And Salt goes down though. Handy does a good job of putting pressure onto Bride. They've still got Vidiking on the Pulse, who does a little Nitrocell as well. Solotov knows he needs to win this battle. But Bride should be able to get the plant down despite getting taken very low. It's only Vidiking that's left alive. And here comes Liquefact. 2-0 start for Falcons here on Border. And they're working for it. Faze are making them work for it.
Falcons are digging deep here on Border, and it's only 2 rounds in. I think you have summarized it perfectly. Faze are really making them work for it, keeping them honest. We saw the Solace play there in the last round from Handy, enough to deter the plant. Ultimately, though, wasn't quite enough to flip the man count advantage that Falcons had rightly earned themselves in that round.
And funnily enough, you look at the opening map, only 1 round opening kill wasn't converted. To start Border, it's 2 rounds straight. Completely goes against what we saw on Bank. The fact that we played 11 rounds on Bank and only 1 of those was not converted, but to begin a map like Border, so frag heavy, so many opportunities, especially when you go 5-4 up in the round. And so far, it hasn't phased Falcons now actually playing from behind. What it does, though, mean is storyline-wise, it's still more of the same from Faze. They've found a way to take what is their weakness and turn it into a strength, but they just haven't converted to start in the opening half.
So we head over to the bathroom then, the final round before the additional operator bans will be introduced. And for Falcons this time out, it is double specialist drone operators. Users on the Brava and Shaiko on the shock drones of Twitch. Both of those particular operators will counteract the mirror really nicely, especially Shaiko. And of course, the Banshees as well. Users can hack those and claim them for his team.
And for Faze, 5 new operators, so really showing what their operator pool looks like. They haven't played any of these ops except the mirror in the opening round. The other 4 completely new. First time seeing this composition going into bathroom towers. On the flip side for Falcons, yeah, Doc could be 3 rounds straight.
Ooh,
Monty twice. Shaiko. It's just his shock drone that does get shot out.
Yeah, he had a very, very small window to hit that shot.
Sends the next one in.
Can he hit it?
Oh, the lineup, I don't know if that's connected.
No, he's missed.
It has not connected from range. In fairness, from that distance, it's a tough shot. It's a very tough shot.
If Shaiko's struggling with that shot, you know it's tricky.
Liquefact lurk entry through passports, got eyes towards body stairs. Speaking of that position, it's Souls that's very close by, just underneath. If he were to make his way up, it should be a free kill for Likifak. But Souls is actually pushing towards Likifak. He's right on the other side of this reinforced wall. Zeus, that finds the opening kill. That might get Souls to move. Likifak couldn't hit the headshot, but I don't think he was ready for Souls to be that close at the wall.
It's hard to blame him from that particular position. 5-4 though in favor of Falcons. Minute on the clock. Bride has Diffuser. He'll look to carry that across. Faze in the meantime have ultimately forfeited second floor with that drop down from KDS. Double Nitro though available.
They're swept through, cleared out security. They got top east stairs control. Hatch opened up above side. Nitro from Souls pre-plays, rips it, finds nothing. Caught at the bottom of east stairs as Shaiko can now push through, create the chaos for Falcons. Wants to get into the site. KDS bathroom. Vidiking is still close by inside a workshop, but Handy a distance away in customs.
Oh, Bride isolated 1 versus 1 against
Pistol!
KDS.
Hits a headshot! And gets Vidiking very, very low, but they combine the duo. Do for Faze, and now with only Solitov Bride left, Faze are right back in this round with just 14 seconds left. They go the plant as Solitov will cover, looking to deny the entry, hits the headshot. It's only Handy left now in a post plant, but he hits the headshot onto Solitov, and Bride though, the balls of this man to pull the pistol out against Handy of all players and hit his shot. 3-0 Falcons.
Bride cold in the clutch, as he's so often known for. He takes the initiative to take the early duel, potentially catching Handy off guard. And in doing so, Falcons now 3-0 up on the map selection of Faze.
Quer usar Lash, só que eu preciso que o PC e o Acidal fiquem um pouco melhores, tá ligado?
Eu vou
então...
ela agora.
É, pode pegar o Lício também, cadê? Pra poder dificultar, que tipo, o auxílio dos caras é chegar de shield lá e conseguir avançar e pela janela, tá ligado? Então, tipo, pega alguma coisa lá pra tu ficar dando trap na janela lá. Pô, pegar de nada, então. Certo, o bombo da sinal é isso. No bombo do banheiro, cara, a nossa play foi boa. A gente vai fazer a play da PC ali e tal, só que eu preciso que vocês se relembrem, tipo, dos conceitos. A gente não vai equivar Lash. Eu não posso fazer que tu saia do arsenal, então, tipo, quando o cara começar a girar PCs pra cima, você vai ter que entrar mureta, vai ter que se esconder ali e vai ter que jogar. Tá. Certo? Cara, o oficial ele pode repetir. O banheiro é isso aí que eu falei com o Red. É só a gente não vai guivando o arsenal. A gente precisa de pegar.
And there's the mic cut for Rafael at the end of his tactical timeout. It's, well, not a lot of stress, not a lot of panic stations. Faze, of course, have already got 1 map in the pocket. I cannot imagine that they'd be too worried at this point, guys. Yes, it's their map pick, but yet still it's a map that they've not really had the most experience on. So they've kind of just got to work their way through. It was a very winnable 3rd round. The first 2 rounds they got opening kills. Yes, it's 3-0, but it hasn't really felt like that inside the server.
Yeah, I would largely agree. I think for Falcons, it's about refinement now for the remainder of this half. They want to extract value from this defensive side of Border and at least give themselves a bit of confidence heading into attack. You need that, especially on Border when you're contesting map entry. So we'll see what they can produce here. 3 more opportunities. Start biting back against Falcons. Of course, additional bans now in play. So the mirror has been taken off the board, has been quite influential, although Falcons, to their credit, did a good job rerouting their attacks. And the Monty as well, also out, which has been a key tool, especially for Bride, to again, reroute a lot of these attacks, gain information, scout ahead for Falcons. So I'm now intrigued on the Blackbeard, which is now switched off to, if that can produce similar results.
For what it's worth as well, Falcons, of the teams remaining at Six Invitational, they are the best at getting plants down. They did get 2 down on Bank, and they've gotten 2 down here on Border. Faze, on the other hand, none, 0, no plants so far, and they're the 2nd best team at it. So there's a bit of a discrepancy in that area as well. 3-0 lead, and it just gives a bit of breathing room now for Falcons, especially on what is a very chaotic map. We've seen so much energy that has now been exerted in the opening few rounds, no more importantly than that previous one. Handy's somewhat been tamed. He's performing well, 3-3, but not to his Bank levels.
So Logic Bomb rains out from Falcons. Faze, again, trying to garner information on the fringe of the map, and Falcons not really giving them a whole lot.
Oh, do it.
Very patient lurk play. They're trying to isolate Cyber over towards Customs.
Rito just getting pressured off, though, by Souls towards these stairs. Shaiko wants to try and obviously make his entry into the building. No one yet in for Falcons, by the way. Minute 20 on the clock. That's the concern here as the attacking team. Now, Faze are meeting them head on, so it takes this utility. Flame bolts that have to go out. Flashes, try and clear these positions. Oh my word! Headshot from Leaky Fack, and it deals with the Solus.
Minute on the board for Falcons. They invested a lot of utility though, and Souls remains inside, waiting.
He's got a ping. He's got the light ping. They know exactly where Souls is. And he's trapped in towards the corner as well. But as Leaky Fack was making his move, caught by Handy. Trade elsewhere. Shaiko gets involved. That's his third kill. Advantage stays with Falcons as Solitov doubles down on that. It's only Handy and Vidiking.
Oh, Handy finds the kill though, and Shaiko is low on HP, but Handy traded out. And now it's Vidiking in a difficult 1v3.
On the verge of 4 straight, and indeed confirmed for Falcons. They can smell those roses, and maybe that third map still a ways to go, but a 4-0 lead puts them in a very solid position here on border.
And a tricky position for FaZe. They've used that tactical timeout, and it hasn't resulted in a round win. So they can't look to rely on that for the remainder of border, and it's up to these 5 inside of the server to try and formulate a plan to shut down a Falcons team that are doing a really, really solid job in investing utility early to flush out positions and then backing themselves into convert these plays.
I've got the translation from Rafadel's tactical timeout that was just prior to that previous round. He was talking about needing CCTV and Arsenal to be played a little bit better. Cyber said he's going to pick the Ella and also picking Legion for KDS to make it hard for them because they use Shield to move forward and around the map. Playing the Denari, using more traps at the windows, and then the bathroom bomb site. They need to remember the basics. They're not going to give up East. They're not going to give up Arsenal. And Workshop can be repeated the same place, same style. So that was the translation for the FaZe tactical timeout. Didn't work though, unfortunately.
No, because Falcons are playing so damn well. I mean, even with the Monty taken out, we saw, oh,
chance, Cyber though. Oh, Solitov gets him.
And that should be a free camera for Falcons as well.
It's a third opening kill straight as well for Falcons, so they've flipped that metric now. It started with 2 straight to FaZe off the back of dominating in that area. Back on bank, 3-day. You can just feel like Falcons are starting to get really comfortable inside of the server. Nitrocell, KDS, it does land, but only a small amount of damage onto Shaiko. FaZe know, though, they cannot go into their shells on a site like Vent Workshop. They need to stay aggressive.
Falcons are really unsettling this defense at the moment, trying to force aggressive playmaking and then catching them out. 2 minutes on the clock for Falcons. Massive belt of utility. Lion scan deployed. Candela's cooked. Handy looks too aggressive but doesn't find much. PDS, however, finds his mark.
They can't lose Handy. He's the only one that's positive for FaZe. They've just lost Vidiking. Solitov cleans through KDS. Security is theirs. And with that top floor as well. Handy's low. Souls hasn't found a kill. It's falling apart for FaZe on border. But Handy, a fallback headshot onto users keeps it alive. Even if hope is low for FaZe, if Handy's up, even on 1 HP, there's still a chance for FaZe.
Handy drops for Plantanol. Souls has retreated over towards Office. This is very passive from FaZe. We'll see if it works. Lots of time for Falcons to try and break this down.
Souls has got to find a way to have an impact. He has to find his first kill here on border. Back to Tal as he goes. He can come across as Breeday's looking for the plant inside a vent. Can Handy find the angle? He did, but didn't convert, but also didn't get traded, but overswung. Left side, Souls finally off that donut. Should know where Bride's trying to plant, but doesn't know where Solotov is. Now he does, and it's a straight beeline 1v1 in the post plant. Souls must win this, or FaZe will be staring down the barrel of 5-0.
Bride playing close, he's not backing away.
Down the shots, now Souls knows, but he runs outside. Bride's out the map, and as that time starts to expire, more pressure on Souls. Has to make the decision.
Long arm.
Do you go the long arm, do you bait him out, or do you hunt him down? And with the clock where it is now, your decision's been made! Souls has connected! Bride is down! Souls clutches the FaZe! They find their first round on border!
Oh my God, what a clutch in the 1v1. It got really awkward for Bride. He backs himself in with that frag grenade utility, but as he deploys it, gets caught down on the ground, and Souls doing a phenomenal job to compose himself, to play patient, and to get the result for FaZe.
And for someone who was 0-4 going into that round, this is always a good lesson. You could be 0-4, 4 rounds down. You can still be the one, though, to make the impact to win a round. The previous rounds are gone. They're irrelevant. You cannot change history, but you can still have impact in those future rounds. And we just saw that from Souls. 2 critical kills, no more important than in the 1v1 post plant. And again, Handy with impact. Still the only one that is going positive for FaZe. Now, 6 and 5. They're on the board. There's one. They need more. And to add further reference, Handy's now crossed over to 20 kills. The first player to do so across both teams. The next highest is Solotov and LeakyFac at 14. He's so far in ahead of the rest of the server.
To the credit, though, of Falcons, they've done a better job in lowering his impact here on border map 2. Handy certainly has had decent moments, but certainly not the same level of intensity and consistency as we saw back on Bank, a testament to the teamwork on offer from Falcons on this attacking half so far. Still, though, 1 to go. One more opportunity for Falcons to either extend their lead or for FaZe to play catch-up. We go up above, archives for the final round of the half, and the Capital here from Falcons maybe suggesting that that will be deployed for a more direct approach, but could also be crowd control tooling over towards a break play, for instance. I mean, there's options available here for that utility to be deployed and have impact in this round. It's all about the communication here for Falcons and just being aligned on the same game plan.
And don't forget, FaZe is the best team remaining in attacker win rate. In fact, for the entire tournament, there was only one team that was higher rated than them, which was Weibo Gaming. So for FaZe going into attacking half, if it's a 4-2 scoreline, yeah, they're certainly not out of it.
No.
This is still a really important round for Falcons to get over the line, being one map down in the series.
Triple wall opened up here from Falcons in towards Office. That now exposes the position of Souls, who instead of retreating, has now looked to fortify his position. It was a phenomenal clutch from him back in the previous round, but he needs to step it up again here to try and contest this Office entry from Falcons if it is to follow.
They have the drone on KDS. As long as that's watched, they know his position, and LeakyFac's pushing. Threw out the flash, wants to go in, take the battle. Up close, LeakyFac lost it though. Despite knowing exactly where KDS was, had the drone as Solotov falls. FaZe have now got themselves into a very winnable position, and doubling down, it's KDS who makes his mark. Vidiking closes, and the villains make it 2 straight to close the half after a 4-0 lead for Falcons.
As you mentioned, FaZe are one of, if not the best, attacking teams remaining at the event. I think for many, we'd look at a 4-2 and say, Falcons, they're in a pretty dominant position.
They are.
But this is FaZe. I don't think it's quite as dominant in the context of this matchup.
As we head into the bands to begin the second half, 4-2 doesn't feel like a safe scoreline if you are a Falcons fan. It feels closer to 3-3 sort of territory in what would be maybe a more neutral matchup. But one thing I will say for Falcons, they were able to find their strength once again. Opening kills 4 rounds straight. Now, didn't convert in the last 2 rounds, sure, but they also started to get the plants down, 3.5. That's another good sign. Compared to Bank, which they lost 7-4, they started to dominate. They started to get their game going, their play style going, and that's the positive sign. They keep that up now on defense, still within a very good position to go and take this map, despite FaZe being FaZe. The bans, Monty Ying, Smoke, and Clash.
I'm very eager from a tactical perspective what kind of tempo FaZe want to bring into Border. It's well known, and the stats back it up. They are the 16th team overall at the event for entry time, whether that be either a successful or an unsuccessful entry battle. They play slow, they play patient, they find an opportunity to make a play when they feel settled, when they have the correct information, when they layer the appropriate utility. That's not exclusive to attack, but that's going to be under the microscope here for the second half. And on a map like Border, where it can be tough to fight your way through the trenches of that map entry, I think Falcons are going to throw everything they have at FaZe here to prevent boots on the ground, where FaZe can look to then unlock the map.
That's where they've really switched it up, Guz, though. Back on Bank, 8 opening kills. The slowest was a minute 40. The average was around the 2:10 minute mark. And again, I think that's where it's the sign of a great side. You know that you're relatively slow compared to your opposition. You know that they will know that. Let's pick up the pace. And they did that on Bank. Border's a whole different beast, though. You're going to get far more of a contest at these windows and doorway positions. If we look at the average time of the opening kill so far here on this map, it's actually closer to a minute 12.
Yep. So we see the castle in play from Falcons in this particular round, deployed in the long haul. And so with that, Falcons are a little more willing to forfeit control over towards top east stairs, but they then have the utility in position to help on the break contest.
Now, double shield glass here, Armory Archives can very much indicate they could go for the Archives door plant. Don't have to put all of your eggs in that basket, of course, but it is certainly viable for FaZe in this 7th round. But the biggest detriment here for what would be a FaZe attack in that way, 3 Nitro cells. Like, there is enough counter pressure there from Falcons for a play like that from the attack of FaZe. They've got a very good lockdown defense in terms of their utility. Any kind of fast rush, even with smokes, there's plenty of Nitros that can find it, but Shaco caught towards 90. That was easy swing clear for Cyber.
Really great utility, layering. The Gon 6 effective for FaZe, and they catch Shaco off guard.
Not going for an Archives hit, though, because that diffuser is towards break. Bitter King has made his way in, so they're going for a sweep across here, FaZe. They found the opening kill. They know that defense can no longer be extended towards security. They've taken this space, and they've pushed all the members of Falcons back to the site, keeping them trapped.
What will be the finishing point, though, for this FaZe attack? They have a couple of options available. Could spearhead over towards Armory, can rotate Office as well. And Vidiking is teasing that at the moment. Uses to play the next big contact fight, but he dies.
Solotov gets a trade at least onto KDS, keeps it back to a 1-player deficit if you are Falcons on the defense.
Look at
but
that.
Licky Fak on a flank, coming up these stairs to maybe save the day. 3-day falls, Licky Fak getting tagged up from Vidiking. And then the over swing, Souls found the shoulder angle, gets the kill as Solotov by himself. Nitro doesn't do anything. 20 seconds left. Needs to find the next down very quickly, but it's a Blackbeard shield up. He did get a kill onto Handy, but it didn't matter as FaZe will make it 3 straight. It's only now 4-3. FaZe are 4 rounds away from booking their place in their 3rd consecutive SI Grand Final. They are storming home here on Border.
The game plan there from Falcons was quite obvious. Let's deploy reinforcements break. Let's deploy castle barricades along hallway. Let's force a slow, methodical clear from FaZe. But FaZe are the kind of team that really love that. They thrive in that. We saw the combination with the Gon 6 that catches Shaco off guard, and then FaZe immediately spring into action. They know how to exploit these advantages. They are arguably the best team here in Paris at doing that. They teased over towards Armory, then ultimately swept over towards Office. They kept the Falcons defense honest. They kept them on their toes. That play there was absolutely spot on from Faze. Users gets caught, he's trying to defend offers. The shields, the double shields start to get into play there for Falcons. There's nothing Solotov can do. Faze with an ultra suffocating attack to kick off round number 7.
So into the 8th round, Vent Workshop we go. And Faze are going to bring an intriguing little combination here. Fuse and the Blitz. Now it says to me there's, again, a couple of options here for Faze, and you can really start to see that they've workshopped this map. It's not one of their more played maps, but they've got the strategies. They're ready to go. They go for a fast hit. Inside a vent, through the window, with a fuse that's taken space up above, you can easily get that plant down successfully if Falcons aren't ready. But again, they've brought Nitro Cells. Falcons did it in the previous round, expecting maybe that fast hit from Faze. Ooh, and Solotov gets rid of Souls, no Thatcher. And that's actually very important. The Thatcher's so good at countering the Nitro Cells that can get thrown for one of those quick plant attempts. That's no longer available now for Faze.
Very aggressive run out from that pillar position. Great work there from Falcons to give themselves in an advantageous position for the remainder of the round. And as you mentioned, bolsters a lot of the late round win conditions on offer for them with triple nitro, with information. Shaiko almost getting caught out, but he'll be okay for now. He's safe over towards supply. Faze are currently doing a massive
rotate. Yeah, they've gone basically the other side of the map. Loop re-entry towards break. Solotov's gonna be careful. Oh, Solotov's he's so careful! Headshot Vineking! The feet shots land onto Handy, and he gets back safely. No, Handy, pistol out. Aggressive again from the star of Faze. Now pushing towards Utis, who's got that mirror shield set up. They want to go for a top-down clear, but Handy's by himself towards 90.
Surely we don't see yet another 3 versus 4 on the side of Faze.
Force the drop. It's somewhat of a win for Faze. Yes, they're down a player, but they've forced the drop, so that's full top floor control. The downside though, guys, you no longer have the fuse. The fuse would have been so good in this situation with this control towards Armory Archives. Falcons know this. They've got the extra player. They don't want to take any risks. They force the drop. And Shaiko's in a well-placed position, ready. KDS was not. And Falcons looking to finally break this streak of Faze. 3 straight for Faze. Falcons now look placed to get their 5th round.
Double nitro still up. Shaiko firing and Handy's dead. Falcons looking really good right now.
Well, swings and roundabouts here on Border. From 4 straight for Falcons, then 3 straight for Faze. Finally, Falcons break that streak and put themselves that little bit closer to taking this 2nd map. Is Lair required? The crowd certainly wants it to be. But you just get the feeling Faze will not go quietly into that night here on Border, that they've got more tricks up their sleeves.
Highlight from that previous round, Handy put his best foot forward, but there's only so much he could do. Shaiko poised and well positioned. Faze having to pivot multiple times that round. They've run out of options, and Falcons were able to land the shots required. Over to bathroom for round number 9. Again, the final round before the additional bans are introduced. And we see the Deimos. Now, Deimos was a talking point back in the first half. It did get stripped away. It was banned out. Given the horizontal and vertical nature of Border, KDS should have a lot of playmaking potential in this round. You combine that with the Lion that can lock down positions, Vidiking who can create space on the blitz.
How quick do they go here as well? I mean,
Does it? Yeah. I hesitate to say it will be super direct. I don't think that will be the game plan here from Faze, but they can definitely utilize the Glaz to apply pressure and again, try to keep some perceived pressure on site.
Oh, Burrito's going to go for the early Nitro Cell. That's nicely forced out by Vidiking.
Throwing up smoke.
Just, I mean, perceived pressure, if you will, from the blitz. Yeah. Vidiking probably never had any intention of actually going for the quick vault in. He doesn't even have the kit. But what he does do is he says to Breeder, you need to respond to me. And he forces out a Nitro Cell. Really good early positioning from Vidiking. Well, there's another one. He gets very low off that from users. What that means is, though, no more Nitro Cells available for the defensive Falcons. And Souls, interesting, trying to play through the smoke from the foreboard. Cyber catches Likifax. The Soulless Court looking above, and through the horizontal, it's Cyber that gets the kill. Turns his attention towards top middle.
This is a very good round for Faze, but they're making it work.
Clean headshot for Cyber. Zolotov's been so instrumental on border. At 12 though, now 7. He falls. Brede can't win either towards main, but uses there to help out. He gets 2 critical kills and potentially a chance to get Brede back into this round, but more pressing matters because here comes Handy.
And here comes Shaiko, a 1 versus 3.
He couldn't, could he? On the main stage, in front of his home crowd, with a death mark on his location. It's never been more difficult for Shaiko, and he cannot handle the pressure. Faze bite back immediately. They take the 9th round. It's 5-4.
And there's the power of the Deimos on display when you find yourself in an advantageous position. If you're the solo in the clutch, and especially if there isn't a mute for protection, or you can't find a mute jammer, you find yourself in a world of hurt pretty quickly, and even the best in the world find that a very difficult position. The groundwork before that from Faze was phenomenal. The cutoff of Brede, again, when they had the advantage, Faze made it count.
Ooh, Glassband. We saw it used twice, and it can certainly have effect as we go into a timeout from Julio.
On this map, so you're just gonna keep playing crazy like this, push from everywhere. So yeah, I think we just bring traps. I feel like pressure them on their first step is good as well. They don't like this that much because they're not comfortable like step by step, you know. Only if you do fallback. We did fallback is good, but I feel like now we put a little bit more pressure. And with traps, you can bring even like info for side. For guys that are afraid that you just like push side to shit like this. But I think we can take the control of the map, you know. Just traps everywhere. You just play on the communication, you know. We help each other. Okay, they're going for the gap, but we have trap. Just we take stuff together, okay? You're just smoking stuff and making us move and please. Let's play like classic.
Well, you heard it there from Julio. The messaging is quite clear for the remainder of Border. Try to play a more deathmatch style. Sure, sometimes the peel is appropriate, but if they can try and meet Faze head on and interrupt their checklist attacking mentality, that could be a win condition. If we look back at that previous round, great lurk from Cyber, and uses with a decent fight back. But he had to try and combine with Shaiko. Unfortunately, he falls. Doesn't give an opportunity with Vidiking low, maybe for a clutch. And again, with that Deimos still up, there is very little Shaiko could do. 5-4 the scoreline. Falcons retain the lead.
And it's still crazy considering this scoreline. That Handy's the only one still positive right now for Faze. 10-7. Cyber 7-8, Vidiking's 5-6, and KDS 5-7 obviously aren't playing poor by any means and have very decent games so far. But none of them are positive. It's still Handy that's putting in such a large emphasis. He's got a 78% cost. The only player that's matching that right now is Solotov.
Uses tempting fate, maybe with a jump out archives. Handy is outside.
I mean, if you can find an opening kill on the Handy, your win rate just skyrockets. And playing the Capitao too, an important operator for Faze in this round.
I tell you what though, the read from Handy was absolutely spot on. He actually almost got the kill. He's red hot this afternoon. 3 deathmark targets available here for Cyber. So with the guys banned out, it does leave the Deimos up.
Well, how much influence can Likifax have? He's playing the Vigil Roam. Boss G in hand, over towards Supply. He's on that first floor. He might not be the main factor in this round for Falcons, but he needs to have influence when he's playing a role such as that. The Lurk Roamer for Falcons at some point needs to be impactful.
Meanwhile, it's a lurk over towards east stairs here for Faze, so they're chipping away at territory, getting ground rather uncontested. They'll like this. This is the kind of position in which Faze will typically thrive.
At what point does Liquifac go for something like an E-stairs push? No, he makes his way up main stairs, so he goes away from the roam game, never mind back down. Liquifac not quite sure how he wants to play this, and now pushes through server. Emphasis on him because everyone else in the server is essentially playing kind of default Armory archives. Here he is from below.
Can contest Vert. Might be able to take some attention away from this office-centric push that Faze are posturing for at the moment. Cyber falls.
It's Solotov onto the Deimos. So no Deimos available for Faze. Lower end information. 3 rounds straight, the opening kills have been converted. Will that trend continue? Advantage heading into the final minute. Shaiko tagged up towards the top metal stairs position. Souls is going to go towards top waiting, try and push through break, and Solotov needs to be aware of this. Over towards security. If he peeks this, Souls is in a great position. But it's Liquifac from below with the impact. Gets rid of the Blackbeard. He makes that impact from the Vigil. The peek towards security. Souls, is he ready for this? As Shaiko lands his shot, here come Falcons on the verge of securing 2 map points, and they do so flawlessly.
Falcons have come to play here on Border. 6-4 map point. And I think to highlight one individual from Falcons that's done really well to bounce back from Bank, it was mentioned on the desk that he had a below standard performance on map 1. It's Solotov. 3-0 entry, 14-7 overall KD spread. He has been a big difference maker, facilitated of course by his team, but he's been capitalizing on those opportunities.
And again, well, we kind of touched on it, the desk also reiterated on the point being that Faze, the way they played on Bank, they took a lot of that attacking strength from Falcons and used it as their own, almost absorbing that ability. That's not actually been the case here on Border. If we go from round 3 to round number 10, there's only been 2 opening kills for Faze. Falcons have got their game going. They're playing into their strengths, their win conditions, and hence now a big reason they find themselves 2 map point advantages up over Faze as we start to turn our attention potentially to Lair. But the job's not done yet. Tech pause, by the way, as there was a mouse bug for users. He's currently out of the lobby. We wait for him to return. So far, guys, it's lived up to the billing. The grand final rematch in the upper bracket final. First punch went the way of Faze. Falcons are punching back. And there's Tom J. Sherlock, shirtless.
What a sight that is. Is that the Brede chant?
Yeah, it is the Brede chant.
Classic.
Well, we take a breather here, we take a rest. Vent Workshop coming up next. 2 opportunities for Falcons. And these will be 2 very stressful rounds. They need to get this done. Get to Lair, have the break in between the maps. For Faze, everything's still to play for here on Border. And looking back on their Border guts, again, they've not won this map when picking it in the last 3 years. They're on the verge of losing again, but they have been ultra competitive.
Yeah.
And it just goes to show that the best team in the world has the best map pool in the world. But they can even bring a map out that they just simply do not play in an upper bracket final. From one Michael to another. Of course, kicks will always be part of Siege and this family.
Again, in case you missed it, we are unfortunately in a technical pause. Falcons currently leading 6-4. The pause was called by users reporting a mouse issue. So he is unfortunately still out of the lobby. Maybe we're waiting for the backup mouse to get delivered.
It's simply delicious.
Well, Brede's been pretty good today. Here on Border specifically, 5-4. Hasn't been involved in any entry duels, but that's the expectation.
Well, in the plant, it's been Solotov.
Yeah, the plant metric though for Brede has been absolutely outstanding. He's number 1 at the event so far. 3 plans for him on board.
Now there is Solotov with yet another opening kill. 3-0 on the entry for Solotov, so he has been able to step up on board. And this has been his funhouse. 14-7, 3-0 entry, 80% cost. Coming into today, top 20 rated player at Six Invitational, or playing like a top 10 player on border. And Handy, to his credit, has kept his form here on border. Obviously, not as dominant as Bank on a team that's losing a lot more than on Bank, but 10-8, 70% cost. He just hasn't been able to get an entry battle. In fact, 0-0. So Handy has not been able to get into those entry battles to give FaZe those head starts.
Attackers activating diffuser.
I don't know what we're hearing in our ears, by the way, but we can hear like replay audio or something, like gunfights constantly during this tech pause, so just an FYI. Oh, there is the hammer.
As the wave goes by.
Yep. Faze eager to go back to back. Falcons still looking to snatch it for the very first time. The winner of this match, they get one step closer.
Well, that's going to be the storyline, isn't it, guys? Because it was spoken again on the desk. We heard from Jack and Alfama where, do you want to win the upper bracket final? Ever since any kind of advantage was taken away from being the upper bracket final winner, it's all been lower bracket. But is that a curse? Is it a coincidence? At some point, that has to change, surely. Could it be here in Paris as we are back underway? 2 map points for Falcons. We head to first floor, vent, workshop. It's time to lock in, says LickyFac.
Let's jump in then. Will this be the final round of Border? Falcons head us over to workshop for round number 11. And the lineup is very, very intriguing. Brede will bring the mute, likely in anticipation for the Deimos. That may even be enough to deter FaZe from bringing it in this round, as they will look to pivot this attack significantly. They bring the Brava, that of course to counter users and LickyFac.
A sweet noise, isn't it? A live arena. The Six Invitational. It gets better and better every... Grow old. As they stand for Falcons. 2 opportunities, 2 chances. But FaZe are not a team that will quit.
Falcons currently searching for a lot of information around the map at the moment. FaZe dedicated with their drone work though, and Cyber's been able to hack quite a bit of utility. Dodges the burst as well.
It's been very, very good from Cyber.
Yeah, that is fruitful over towards front door. That could definitely come into play later in this round if we see FaZe pivot and try and spearhead attack from that particular position.
Looking for the sweep across on the top floor as Vidiking, while he does have the kit on the Blackbeard, pushing through east stairs, wants to try and get in towards office. He will do just that. Brede sits below in bathroom, has a nitro available. Vidiking just keeps on searching. LickyFac over towards Fountain, now pushed back, top metal. Solotov taken low towards security. FaZe are just slowly bringing across this wave of momentum. There's 2 quickly from Vidiking and Handy. Pressure back on you, Falcons. Who will respond? It's users. Big kill onto Vidiking. That's the Blackbeard down. That's a big entry positional player for FaZe off the board.
What can Solotov do? Backed into a corner, low on HP. Can he push forward and find this kill?
Oh no! Handy! The ever-present star for FaZe. When needed most, you call upon your star and he delivers. 2 crucial kills from Handy. Gives them a 4 versus 2 advantage, as it's all now down to users and Brede.
We know how good this dynamic duo can be, but this is a tall task for users and Bride to close out the map for Falcons. So much pressure above here from Faze and so much time to prepare themselves for this final push.
Oh, down bottom middle stairs. They fall together, users and Bride. And a hush over the Adidas Arena as Falcons lose one of their 2 opportunities. One more available. It's 6-5, final round of regulation on border required. Bathroom tellers, the site selected from Falcons.
And so the tension builds up once more. Only one opportunity remains for Falcons to close out this map and send it to Lair in regulation. The side of choice will be tellers and bathroom. Here's a look back at that previous round. Vida King marching forward on the Blackbeard. Handy bit of pick as well. So much presence and pressure around the map that there was nothing Bride or users could do, locked down in that objective.
And if Faze want, they could go quick. I mean, are Falcons really expecting a quick rush plan from Faze? 6-5 at the Six Invitational upper bracket final. It's the kind of play you would maybe see them pull out, maybe start a group stage, certainly maybe back at SAL. But would they do it here, at this moment, right now? You're still gonna have someone ready for it. If you're Falcons, you cannot let that be overseen. In fairness though, Faze switch it up. They do drop the blitz. Typically you would see the blitz for that sort of play. Leads me to believe that Faze probably won't go for the quick hit. And Handy goes on to the Deimos. With the way he's been playing today, he gets ownership over such an aggressive operator. And it's Shaiko. Oh, he stares. An early push in from the Blackbeard. KDS goes down and it's advantage Falcons off the back of the hometown hero.
Beautiful angle found there by Shaiko. But can Falcons consolidate this advantage and make it count? Shaiko will push back up. He wants to contest these stairs. He wants to make this entry as difficult as possible for Faze, but they do bring the Rayora to maybe alleviate some of that pressure and direct the attack over towards Break.
It's like 4 corners right now though for Faze. They're all around the map. Oh, Shaiko! Souls goes peeking! And you go teaching! Clean headshot! And this seems like it's done! Headshot after headshot! But while Handy's still alive, Faze still have a chance. It's small, it's marginal, but you don't give up on a star like Handy. Vida King needs to help him out, but he just pushes in, willingly, on his own accord. As good as Handy is, and he so very much is, even this seems beyond him. 1v5, not happening! It's map 3 that is required in this upper bracket final.
Falcons have done it on border. It was a big call for Faze to head us to this map. But the game plan from Falcons was absolutely spot on. They got off to an amazing start, 4 rounds straight, and then were able to grind out the rest of that map in regulation. Lair required, and that one is even harder to call.
15 kills from Solotov. Here they come. Falcons make their return on border. It's all tied up in the upper bracket final. We go to the break, and on the other side, Lair to decide it all.
now we know how they play. So what specifically did you understand about their play style that made it easier to close this map?
I think Faze play really aggro and really on our face. They literally want to destroy us. So I think Border was a good map. So we know they will play like this. It's kind of default on Border, and we just adapt between the map to play more against this kind of play style.
In what way do you think they surprised you in a map that you were so sure you were better than them?
Bom, eles baitaram o que a gente ia fazer ali, algumas coisas, a gente estava preparando o counter, mas eles fizeram outras coisas, então a gente caiu um pouco no counter deles ali.
We were prepared to counter them, but instead they countered us. They baited us in doing a play that we were prepared to that. So that's why.
Bonsoir à tous and welcome back to a breakdown as to how Falcons is able to come back in this matchup. And Liquefact stayed it best here. He understood the weak point. Faze is trying to play too aggressive. Let's punish that. Let's take an example, round 2 on Border. And look at this. There is something very interesting about this defense. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players of Faze are upstairs. But wait, is the bomb site upstairs? And that's the beauty of it. No, the bomb site is downstairs and Shaiko drones it. No vertical play, everyone is off, trying to play too aggressive. Let's abuse this. And Solotov, he calls here with Tokaebi, creating some sound cue so that Liquefact starts lurking here towards the bomb site. He drones onto the bomb site to find an opportunity, and he finds that by picking towards Goyo. Boom, free kill, amazing. Look at Solotov here. Boom, another one tap, that's enough. 2 kills, that gives them the edge. A big enough edge for Liquefact and Bride to start going towards the plant. And this is why they're one step ahead. It's not a real plant, it's a fake. Enough of a fake for Clash to feel the pressure to come down into straight a trap from Liquefact. Once again, that gets the backstab. And at this point, it's a 4v2. It's beautiful. Liquefact can now cover the real plant and starts looking at this, and boom, the kill on the hatch. And looking towards server, and boom, he's gonna get another kill. That's the beauty of it. They find the weakness in the game plan from Faze. They adapt from it. If Solotov is fragging, if Shaiko is fragging, one player is thinking, and that player is Liquefact.
We heard from Liquefact, we saw his excellence there as an IGL. He was one of the players that we really asked to step it up in between these 2 maps here, but he wasn't the only player that we asked to step it up and actually ended up delivering to.
Yeah, I think so. Obviously, Liquefact stepped it up as we've just seen in the thinking, but it was Solotov for me that stepped it up in terms of that fragging department. It goes without saying. I mean, look at those stats. Look at that scoreline on Bank. He did not have his best day, and I think realistically, you put an unbelievable fragger on a frag-heavy map, he will be incredible, and that's what we saw out of Solotov on Border.
I feel like that's a night and day difference looking at the stats in those 2 different maps here. Of course, the fans must be happy with that as well. Falcons keep themselves in a fight for a spot in the grand final.
Yeah, I mean, we can hear the crowd literally cheering for the French. And I will say this, it's beautiful to see a match that close. It's also beautiful to see them bounce back. I love the composure we're seeing from Falcons. It was a difficult first map, but they understood the game plan and they came back exactly with the right execution.
That big thing, I'll keep saying it, Julio said, we understand how they play now. And that was the big turning point for me, is that Falcons really now have read into it. They read into the Border, they knew it was going to be different maybe from what they prepared, and they're kind of thinking on the fly, and that's where that big performance came out of.
And now it's 1 point each. Faze at the, I guess, the upper edge, right? They understood the game plan on the first map. Then you have Falcons that's coming back. And at this point there is Lair. Who's the one that's the smartest? Who's able to adapt? That's the one thing.
That's the main question, right? Because we heard Cyber talk about, well, they countered us in a way that we didn't really expect it to.
Yeah.
We now look at the Faze players in between map 2 and 3, discussing on what they need to be doing for this final one here. How are they going to make sure Falcons don't find them out?
You need to change of pacing. Here's the problem. They've been forcing the same solution at Falcons the entire time. Bring pace, be aggressive, try to be there early. The thing is, when that doesn't work, it's just, you need to change something, right? So maybe go slower, maybe go more methodical, maybe bring some cheesy ups, maybe go execution heavy. That's the things that they need to change.
And Lair's quite good for that, actually. Think about the top floor. You can attack it from each side. You can go slow, you can use a shield, you can try and set up and execute and really bring it into that last 20, 30 seconds. Same for the basement. You can do the full clear, you can do something cheesy. And then obviously the armory side where you do, you know, those sense takes and roll it in. Do you go direct or do you go above? The benefit that Faze will have is they've got a plethora of different attacks that they can do and different paces, and that's what they need to pull on now.
Many different avenues. You can do limited takes, only take one area of the map and then have a backstab. You can do a full clear like you said, or you can do a rush on almost all of the bomb sites. And they both know, Vitek and Liquefact, exactly how to play this. So whatever happens, we're in for a banger of a map.
And this is why I like these best of three so much, right? We talk about it. It shows the strongest team inside of these two, but I feel like for this one, final map, it'll show who has the best adaptability going into those. So it's a major subject that we've been talking about in this best of three so far, but it will really be tested on the final map.
Oh, absolutely. And I think that we're still lacking the depth and diversity that I know these two IGLs are capable of. I'm not seeing all of the abuse of all the cheesy ups. I'm not seeing all of the rushes. I'm not seeing them throw it all in there. And to be honest, they shouldn't. They should save a little bit for the grand final should they reach it.
Yeah.
The reality is they both have lives to save right now. It's fine. They can drop in the lower bracket. So they should win, but also keep the best edge possible for the grand final.
And it's not just that. There's a very real reality that this is a repeat of the grand final come Sunday, no matter who wins or loses this map. So I agree with you. I think maybe something slightly is being saved. But what I will say is I think momentum's a huge thing. I think the momentum for Falcons is massive in terms of rounds and in terms of map. When they get on a roll, they're very, very hard to stop. But then add in the arena, add in the support.
Yes.
When they really start feeling it and get on that roll, that's a very, very hard train to stop.
Now, I asked you this question before map 2 about the Falcons players who needed to step up. Is there anybody, and we can keep this short because the map is almost ready, on the side of Faze that needs to step it up?
I don't think that anyone should be called. I think that Andy is doing a tremendous job. I think that everyone else is helping there. I think they don't have the pressure. The mental game is with them. I think everyone them as a team is to step up.
I would agree so. I would agree. I think, you know, we've seen Souls. We saw a huge clutch come out from him in the last map, but it shouldn't be getting to the point of needing that clutch. When they were interviewed, Faze said our biggest strength is our team play. So I suppose that's what needs to improve.
It comes down to just one map to decide who makes it straight to the grand final. Lair is our decider.
So it comes down to Lair, single map, the third map off this upper bracket final. The two best teams putting on a grand show. Faze through the first punch. Falcons then responded. And now we head to the third and final map to determine which of these two juggernauts will book their place in the Six Invitational Grand Final.
Well, Falcons have had their number against Faze on so many occasions. Will they add a fourth to that tally?
Their opportunity is now here in their arena, in front of their crowd. After responding on the second map, Lair now awaits for Falcons inside Paris. They have the crowd at their back, heading into the third map. And the last chance to breathe, the last chance to collect our thoughts as we head into this map. One of these two will book their place in the Six Invitational Grand Final. Falcons looking for their second straight Grand Final appearance. For Faze, they're looking for number 3.
Oh, so eager to jump into this third and final map. It feels so fitting for these two juggernauts. Faze looking for the back-to-back, and they will want to book that ticket in the grand final tomorrow. And Falcons, well, they've fallen short so many times, and they want to get the job done again. I hold the belief personally that winning this matchup does give you a big advantage for that best of 5, regardless of what others may think. As we see the bands play out for this first half. Montang, Grim, Kaid, Bandit.
And Falcons on the defense.
Top floor we go for Falcons. As we heard on the desk, this is the kind of map that on a fundamental level, Faze will likely look very comfortable on. Top floor, a good example. You have options on both sides of the map. You can slow wind and attack. You can slowly layer that utility, push the defense back, and then try to pounce on them deep into the round. See if that's the game plan, or if Faze maybe try and switch something up here.
And top floor, 65% defensive win rate. That's the one you really want to be, need to be winning of your Falcons in this first half. But when you look at Bunk's briefing, it's 49-51. It's a 50-50 side. And Shaiko, oh, you scared me. I was reading the nights.
Yeah, he's got it.
And on Lab, on basement, it's 55% in favor of attack. Lair is multifaceted. You got a super defensive side, you got an attacker-sided side, and then there's the neutral side. it shapes up to be one of the best maps we could have to close out this upper bracket final. Handy, through the opening 2 maps, has been the star for Faze. 26-16. Let's be honest, they need him to hit the mark once again. Positioned over towards the mezzanine stairs. Users, if he goes for this peak, Handy is pre-placed.
Well, Users does have double ADS devices, so we'll surely wait for some kind of utility burn. Mild swing with the shotgun in hand, but patient for now. Oh, down below, Liquefac.
Liquefac, it's your left. Handy, it's your right. Oh, and Handy gets away. Liquefac cannot connect in total. Gives a chance for Handy, and you do not want to give him any second opportunity, any second chance to make amends. Deathmark immediately activated. Users been pressured towards mezzanine as well, but this time, Liquefac does connect. Headshot shuts down the Deimos, but traded immediately by Souls.
Yeah, nice trade, but it does mean that this lobby control will still be a challenge. Couple of nades taken off the board here for Faze. This is favorable for Users, who's now able to stall out time with that utility, but Faze have a pinch opportunity as KDS has been able to sneak forward into bathroom.
This is where Shaiko is going to need to help out and deny any kind of chance, maybe for Vidaking to cross towards mezzanine, block off Users from being able to push back up. As you said, a pinch potential because of KDS, but Bride over towards Display has cut that off. In fact, he's even just landed a wonderful Shamika launcher onto KDS, has dislodged air jab onto Users, but with the gas babe, no one can push up mezzanine. There's no positional space taken from Faze throughout all of this.
Users is really valuing his life at the moment, and it could pay dividends for Falcons. 45 seconds on the board for Faze.
Souls is still blocked off from pushing up main. Headshot KDS though, and the mezzanine is now open. It can be taken by Faze. They can put direct pressure straight into the site. So Vidaking and Souls can push through mezzanine.
Shaiko goes searching forward. He got flushed out of the desk position. Will tuck on the breach.
Souls was able to get another one. Now at the front doorstep. Shaiko has to hold on, but Vidaking finds the angle. Faze have broken through the defensive lines of Falcons. Big shot from Solotov. Creates a 1v3. Vidaking off plant, and he hits the shot. So ballsy. Instead of sticking the plant, he goes gun up, finds the kill. Faze will take top floor on the attack to kickstart Lair.
And it's another really good display of grit and determination from Faze on the side of attack. Able to grind that round out. But it got so awkward at the beginning. Liquefac shutting down Handy, taking the Deimos and the frag grenades off the board. They were still able to layer pressure onto Users. They were able to get some value from the likes of KDS and trapping him.
But they had mezzanine trapped off. Great use from the smoke, and they had KDS trapped in bathroom. What changes the round is KDS hitting that shot in bathroom.
He was the man to be able to flip it around. We saw Shaiko pressured. He got pressured from Vert off camera. He was forced forward. He gets caught.
No repeat. You go from the best defensive site on this map to the worst. Falcons, not the way they would have wanted to start this third map, but a dream start for Faze. Great teamwork. Handy kind of teased out the Jackal, which is a very low peak operator, but attacker repicks off. Falcons know, though, on this site, on basement, you're gonna have to play the roam. You're gonna have to play aggressive. And with no shield ops for Faze, they too need to be careful on their entries.
Liquefac continues this lurk over towards the lobby.
And there's no one there, though.
No. That in itself can feed some information as to what kind of push Faze may be formulating. So Liquefac hasn't gained nothing from that.
By gaining nothing, he's actually gained information.
Yeah. And then on cue, opposing corner of the map, top floor, R6, Cyber taking space on the buck.
Super important as well because there's no one top floor for Falcons. A lot of first floor presence though. So by opening up these top floorboards, you can get that information, force them back to site, put pressure on. There's a drop from Users. Bride's gone back as well. He's in lab. So Falcons are being somewhat conservative with their roam. It's not a full roam commit. They're more than happy to go back, play basement.
Yeah, it's a 3-2 split currently, but they will likely drop down here, trying to soak up a bit of time, a bit of drone economy. Some contest though. Cyber a little bit low, but Psycho wins his duel.
Takes out Handy. Well, the start for Faze, 0-2 to start. Falcons are going to make the most of it. They couldn't capitalize in the opening round. Despite Handy now 2 opening deaths straight, Faze still lead. And we know, and we spoke about it, they're very, very good at bringing back these 4v5 differentials throughout SI.
It's a matter of conversion for Falcons. They can bunker down on objective, play into the utility that they have on offer. 3 gas babes available for Brede and Nitro
and the Nitro.
for users. You've got Goyo canisters still established from Solotov. This is good positioning for Falcons. That being said, there are third options for Faze. And if Cyber can open up some nice angles, maybe create a bit of space for his team, it could be a difference maker.
4 bullets left though in the skeleton key, so limited now, and he has to really make sure he makes the most of this. And he does get the kill onto Solotov. So there has now been enough space opened up to make the most of it. Big kill back for Faze heading into execute.
45 seconds on the board. 3 Candelos up for Vidiking. Can Faze somehow wrangle back this round?
Cyber lurks reception. Has one coming towards him in Lickifak. Just around the door. Hasn't moved just yet. Flash though. That kind of lets Lickifak know that his position is under threat.
Lickifak goes directly back there though. He wants to commit to the play.
Cyber pushing up. They take contact. Cyber just holding this space, denying Lickifak. He just sprints into him. Faze have opened up the site again. 8 seconds and Brede shut down by KDS. It's a 2-0 start for Faze on Lair. The home crowd is so disappointed.
Very quiet. But it finally feels in a weird way that we have returned to a sense of normality in this series. We are finally seeing a map where, at least so far in the opening 2 rounds, Faze have struggled. Falcons have gathered the advantage onto Handy, who, mind you, has been the best player for Faze in the series so far, but then aren't able to convert. Faze having a phenomenal read, able to lay a util site, making it work. That is why Faze are so deadly at this event.
Unfortunately, another...
Someone get this man a new mouse.
Another issue with the mouse, it seems, as we head into the tech pause. For what's shaping up to be a pretty long best of 3 series, going the distance, all 3 maps. A couple of issues along the way as well. Of course, it was users that had the mouse bug issue. I think it was map number 2 from memory. The chance, though, for Falcons to mentally reset. They cannot talk, they cannot strategize, but internally, individually, they just kind of think their way through. It's only 2 rounds. They'll go back top 4. Master and R6 need to win that site. Never has there been as much pressure to win a round 3 site.
Yeah.
Is that Rob Monte in the crowd on the right?
Again, we apologize for the technical pause, and hopefully users is able to resolve that mouse issue promptly. You're right though, this next round, it feels very impactful. Even just from the mental standpoint for Falcons, just having a bit of confidence to then carry forward across the rest of this half can be impactful. They are a team that can really hit that flow state and be difficult to take down, but if it starts to be disrupted, regathering that form and rekindling that spark can sometimes be a problem for them.
I mean, that's a factor, but it's more important for me from a site perspective.
Yeah.
65% defensive win rate on Master R6. You've lost it once, you cannot afford to lose it a second time.
The old blow into it strat.
I mean,
I do wonder, is this the backup mouse? And in which case, is there a backup for the backup? Probably not.
You certainly wouldn't want to be playing with, a default mouse that's kind of there as the backup for the backup. At this point, 2-0 down in an upper bracket final at the Six Invitational. So far, the crowd has been fantastic here in Paris. Cheering on Falcons, but so far not a lot to cheer about on the 3rd map. Loud in voice, of course, on Border. Users has now dropped out of the lobby. Hopefully the next time we see him join back in, the mouse is fine. But a great start for Faze. And I think what you pointed out is perfect. Back to normality. We were speaking through a lot of the statistics, not just us, but also on the desk pre-series. A lot of the win cons for this Faze roster throughout Six Invitational so far, 15th for opening kills. They just usually don't get them. We go to Bank, and they just dominated on opening kills. Second best attacking team, but had struggles. Most importantly, to start on Lair, 2 opening deaths, 2 round wins. That's the Faze that we're used to seeing. They are able to bring rounds back from deficits. And that's the worry then for Falcons, because if Faze are getting their win conditions back, and Falcons have got their win conditions, they're the 3rd best team at opening kills at the event overall. They have a 78% conversion rate. You go bang, bang, but you also go lose, lose. That's a concern. And it's almost like this tug of war between trying to get each other's strengths to overwhelm the other. And right now, Faze are winning that tug of war. Heading into this 3rd site, if Faze win Master R6 again, it puts Falcons in a horrible position.
That does seem to be the objective of choice for Falcons.
Well, Tatanka's locked in, by the way, so...
So yeah, I don't anticipate that to shift. Top floor is certainly the expectation. I mean, in terms of just a bit of a snapshot, I suppose, for the stats so far here on Lair.
Oh no, there's more people there. That's never a good sign.
Not a good sign.
Not a good sign.
KDS leading the lobby at the moment, a 179 EPS, 3-0 for him so far. Vidaking as well, trailing not too far behind, 176, again, 3-0. Those two also with a 100% survival rate, alongside Souls, who has stayed alive at the conclusion of both rounds so far, netting a total of 2 kills.
Well, the crowd doing their best to keep spirits up during this technical pause. Again, apologies for the delay, pretty evident. Little mouse issue for users. Well, I say little mouse issue, but it's turning into a pretty big mouse issue. Then when you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 admins standing around, they're struggling to figure out what is going on.
Of course, we will relay any updates as we get them, but as it stands, Users is still no longer in the lobby as they look to diagnose this problem and hopefully find a solution. Users himself, funnily enough, going 15-16 in the series so far, 2-1 on entry, 64% cost, actually leading the way for Falcons, so he's had rather consistent impact over the course of this match so far.
Overall summary for the series, 2 rounds into the 3rd map. Handy stuck on 26 kills, of course, the opening death through the previous 2 rounds. He had a 6-1 entry start, by the way, guys. Now make that 6-3, of course, with the 2 opening deaths. And his cost has actually now dropped to 64% behind KDS and Vidaking, who have got 68% apiece, and both now going positive. For the side of Falcons, Solotov's been their best, 22 and 18, but 3-4 on the entry. Their best entry player has been Shaiko at 4-2. He's going 17-17. But like I pointed out, pre-match, he only has a 60% cost overall at the event, and that's maintained here as well, 60% cost. But he's tied with Solotop, he's tied with Bride, and Liquifact's down at 52%, tied with Cyber and Souls. And also 3-6 on the entry for poor old Liquifact.
Well, a positive
We're back
update.
on the way.
Yeah, Users back in the lobby. The timer has ticked down, and we've loaded in to top floor. The site of choice for Falcons and a repeat for them.
Must win.
After round 1. And it's teetering on that territory, right? If Falcons lose this reattempt, the path forward for them in this series looks very, very tumultuous.
Let's see what they've got in the 3rd round. Lost it in the opening. To be completely honest, they lost it to a Faze round where they played so well.
10 seconds to insertion.
Opening kill went the way of Liquifact onto Handy.
5 seconds left.
But KDS got himself out of trouble in bathroom. With that, they took mezzanine control, went direct, and just cleaned up the defense of Falcons. Falcons need to be wary of that. And the crowd get behind them.
All eyes on Handy. 0-2 on entry so far. Very, very limited impact on the Deimos here on Lair, an operator who can be so powerful with those death marks. Don't discount the impact of the frag grenades as well. It's a similar standoff to last time. Uses main stairs,
but he doesn't have smokes this time.
Lurk.
He doesn't have smokes. He's playing the Denari. He does have tripwire connectors.
Doesn't have the catch. No double ADS device set up this time around.
Now, the barbed wire stops Handy from being able to just kind of lurk push up, but if that gets stopped,
which it does,
and which it has, Usus is going to start to feel a little bit, not scared, but certainly more concerned.
Potentially,
It does have Shaiko on the other side of Mezzanine, which he has been droned out, so Shaiko's position is known. Handy will know. There is a double stack at Mezzanine.
Shaiko targeted, he falls back. Will Handy now look to make a play and create space? Again, he has the double frag grenades to try and flush Usus out.
Usus now knows that Handy's there. It would have got called out because with the death mark on Shaiko. So giving away his own position means 100% Usus knows he's under the pump here. 9 seconds left though, Faze have taken their time. Usus gonna get flushed out. That's gonna be the fire from Souls. As Usus gets caught over towards the Mezzanine, Shaiko couldn't get back over to help. Likifak is also down, and once again, Falcons falling on this top floor. Faze just keep finding these avenues, and it's down to Shaiko, Bride, and Solotov.
And that's the beauty of still having the Deimos available. Faze are looking to crush Falcons.
Push forward now from Handy. Shaiko, is he aware of this? Solotov got his one. Usus now finished off. Oh, Shaiko swung! But Handy puts him to bed. Solotov finds his second and keeps the round alive. 50 seconds. Have they got the ability to fall back, play sight, and use that Shamika launcher on Bride?
Bride is dumping utility towards default. That's an unlikely win condition now for Faze, but they have the man count to counteract that. They can maybe frag out, they can look to go deep. There's options available still to Faze, and they will look to pivot accordingly.
Solotov's the front man, though. To get to Bride, you almost have to go through. Oh, Solotov swung! He catches KDS at the window! Souls can get the trade, needs to get the trade. But Solotov is going to be wary of this as Vidiking is now deep sight inside of Master. He's dropped the kit temporarily into the final 20 seconds.
Now it's a standoff, 2 versus 2, 15 seconds for Faze.
They've got the smokes from the Capital if required, but Souls will go for the plant. Holding, watching is Vidiking. Solotov's got 4! The plant will go down, but 2v1. Souls is already clutched though. From a position similar to this, they both find themselves low. Need to push together. Can Souls find the 1v1s up close? That's one. One more left. Solotov, he needs the ace clutch, or they find themselves 3-0 down. He has to clutch this. 4 Falcons at the door. He can't. Souls has done it again. It's 3-0 to Faze.
Massive round for Faze. It felt like a must-win for Falcons, and to lose it in that fashion is really going to test their mental. Do they have it within them now to dig deep, bounce back, and get at least 2 rounds in this half? That is the bare minimum now for Falcons.
Deimos and Miro the bands. It's timeout. The last time they'll hear from Julio.
And play aggro, okay? Or like mid-round retake. Because we are playing fallback and then you guys are saying, oh, let's aggro, and we are not aggro, and then the guy aggro is dying alone. Like, just fucking put the ball on the table. They were using a lot of demos to first kill the gun, and now I think they're gonna full use Tokabi. So, like, for example, for basement, just flood everywhere above, okay, guys? I don't want to play fallback, pussy, and then they open everything and we die like inside, you know?
Okay,
Let's just play full, like,
I'll let you play going inside, brother. Just play going inside.
What's the guys, what strat you want to do? We do Furia? We should do Furia, and we should just retake whatever inside the left to retake shit. For me, Bride should play Goyo, so I can play L or whatever, I can just run around. Let's go, guys. Let's go, guys. I'm putting...
Well then, the messaging sounding very similar to Border.
Sounds very chaotic.
Chaotic, sure. But the messaging is clear. Let's not fall back. Let's continue to aggress and contest. Yes, we banned out the Deimos. Let's now anticipate the Dokkaebi. I like it's a fighting mentality from Julio. Now it's up to Falcons to translate that into the server.
Big round from Solotov, collecting 4 kills. Had the chance in the 1v1 against Souls, who was low on health. And as soon as he stepped in front of that doorway, Souls was able to do it once again. Another clutch from Souls, as he did back on Border. 3-0 lead for Faze. Twice taking top floor. It's all set up for them. Let's be real, 4 rounds away now from booking their place in a 3rd consecutive SI Grand Final. Falcons will have to dig deep, deeper than maybe they've ever been before. They have to dig deeper than they've ever done before. They are so down bad here right now. No round wins from 2 attempts on the top floor.
It would certainly go down as one of the better comebacks from this roster if they can get the job done.
They're going to have to emulate it in the second half.
Yeah. It's a tall mountain to climb for Falcons. We return to basement and Faze already with good lurk pressure. Over towards barrels and warehouse, spearheaded by Cyber, who's had some good lurk plays so far in this series.
And they need a round win for the mental. You heard the communications during that timeout. A little panicky, very nervous, chaotic. I feel like you lose this, you almost start to go on tilt. And that's very difficult to then play from against Faze.
Some vert pressure here, deploying users, briefing. Has line of sight down below. Spots some information. How do Falcons look to react on? A bit of a peel back towards site, but it's Solus to find the first. Look at Fax down.
That's a Solus as well. So now a lack of information. You don't have that Solus anymore. Over towards Missile. It's Faze that are putting direct pressure towards basement. They want to force Falcons back to site. Or at least put pressure on those that are still there. They're not worried at all about this first floor, except for Handy. Pushing for KDS, gets rid of the F not mine. They've lost Shaiko, he's 1-4. He hasn't made a dent into Faze here on Lair. The star for Falcons is shining in users and Solotov, but not Shaiko and Leaky back. It's others that are standing up. Solotov now 6-3 in a 3v3. But they lose Breeder. KDS gets rid of Solotov up close. Faze just keep on bringing that pressure.
And Falcons can't withstand it. Users falls 1v3.
Has to hit that one, cannot, swinging KDS. And dare I say, this one is looking very likely now for Faze.
They are looking red hot.
Do Falcons have the mental game? That's the big test. And in these big games, to be the best, you need a strong mental. And maybe there's a reason why this team keeps finishing second.
Well, the crowd has not given up. Now it's up to Falcons to return the favor. 0-4 down, defense on Lair. It doesn't get much more grim than that. Sharp shot from Souls. Credit goes to Solotov and users. They were impactful on that first floor. But as Faze so often do, they found that pocket of space, they took it, they exploited, and they cut them off.
So when it gets to 3v3, little response from Falcons. Faze don't just go, oh, let's sit back. No, they double down.
Yeah, exactly. They shovel in. Classic Faze in that round, and it's why it works so well.
10 seconds.
So consistent at it, always in sync.
Located by attackers.
A 4-round lead, red hot. Falcons, I'm not sure they can do it. Let's find out.
It's such a long way back. We go bunks briefing for the first time in the 5th round. Maybe this will be the site where Falcons can find success. 2 attempts on basement, fail. 2 attempts on the top floor, fail. At minimum, they really need to win these next 2 rounds if they're going to have any hope going into the second half. They're so far behind the 8 ball now. They're getting nothing out of Brede, Shaiko, and Licky Fac. Faze all over them. And guess what? It's without Handy. Only 1 kill. Who had 26 coming into this, averaging 13 a map. He's got 1, and they're 4-0 up.
Their top-rated player, 15th at the event. Reflective of just how much of a true team effort it is for Faze and why they are so threatening. In the biggest games, in the biggest moments, they know how to deliver. And they're doing here on Lair.
We heard Julio in the tactical timeout. You've got to stay on that front foot. Why are we falling back? Be more aggressive. This is the round to do it, to show that there's still hope, still belief. Users trying to get information on the Solus. Handy, again, so patient, but finally success. And it seems to be Solotov the one that is answering the call. He has 7 kills, the rest have 3 combined.
A shining light for Falcons, but it's a Faze 4v5. We've seen it time and time again.
That's the problem.
They'll fight back.
Handy. Top of green stairs. As Vidaking makes his way through ops, they've got mezzanine control with Souls.
Site completely vacant, mind you.
Yeah,
as is typical on this side.
But you want the top floor control. Hence now the push coming from Faze. Again, a response. They got rid of Solotov. Users as well will fall. Handy just went direct towards Bugs, catches him off guard as LickyFat can make nothing work. Handy falls, so does Shaiko. It's down to Bride. Faze just sliced their way through this defense again. A 1v3 opportunity for Bride. But let's be real, on this map, nothing is working for Falcons as Faze have just been so dominant.
He at least has top control, a Nitro cell, but that doesn't land. Vidaking plant.
And the plant will be safe. It will not be denied. Drop down, desperate times. Bride, turnaround shot, doesn't matter. Headshot from Cyber. The Brazilians are flexing their muscles in Paris against the Parisians. 5 straight on map 3. Julia cannot believe it. This crowd cannot believe it.
Oh, he looks shattered. Julio looks absolutely shattered.
This crowd's gone silent.
Wow.
On another big stage game, these Falcons cannot escape the pressure, even in front of their home crowd. And while this upper bracket final comes with redemption in the lower bracket final, you can't help but feel the scars of this Falcon roster continue to surface when we get to these big games.
Add that one to the show reel. It's another Faze 4v5. Unbelievable just how strong they are at the disadvantage time and time again. Phenomenal work.
All the stats coming into this game. Falcons, better defense. Falcons, better opening kills. Falcons, better multi-kills. Falcons, better plans. Better death trade percentage. Equal tied on 1vx's. Only 2 stats that they were lower than Faze. Opening kill conversion by 2%. Nothing. 80% to 78%. And attacker win rate, 2% as well. All the other categories, Falcons have been better. These big moments, that's where Faze are at their best, and that's where Falcons continue to shrink.
Well, it was Leo that said it on the desk. Faze are the sleeping giants, and they are now hurtling themselves towards that hammer. If they play like this, it's difficult to foresee any team in a best of 5 being able to take down these guys. We return to top floor. There's one more opportunity for Falcons to get a buffer.
And they've just said, you know what, screw it. Bring the clash, put him over towards ops, keep mezzanine control for as long as possible. Users with the catch as well, helping the fact that he can't be cleared as easily. So they've really changed up their mindset. But users caught at mezzanine from Handy below. But Handy might not be aware of this, so LickyFat will sprint on over immediately. He will go for the revive. But Cyber finds Shaiko, 1 and 6. Shaiko cannot get anything to work on Lair.
So much time for Faze, and now they have the advantage. They have control over towards ops. They have route now towards a default finish in this round. Falcons now need to get active on defense.
But they just look like they're scrambling. They look like they're panicking. LickyFat with the shield up means he can no longer be as aggressive. You've got Bride that's going to be with the Shamika launcher. So how many guns are realistically up right now for Faze? It's Solotov and a low health users.
Solotov goes and plays Skybridge. That could be an ace up the sleeve here for Falcons. Don't discount this impact.
And look at the utility for Faze. So many flashes. Bolts available for Capitao. You've still got a frag grenade from KDS. And air jab as well.
Solotov will have line of sight onto the default plan here. If played correctly, he's the one to win the round for Falcons. There's so much pressure on Solotov in this moment if Faze ultimately do shape up for that plan.
Faze, of course, have got mezzanine control. They've been able to do it every single time on this top floor. Solotov, can he find a kill? It's necessary. It needs to be now. It has to be now. He's right there. Doesn't swing right, sees him, shoots him. Vidaking dead. There's There's the response, but no. Doesn't land onto Solotov. As we head into the final 30 seconds, Liquefact also with SMG up, finds a crucial kill.
Handy goes deep. Can Faze hold the cross for the plan?
Handy, no. He's positioned, not aware, not known. Solotov sprints on in, dies, goes too easily down into the final 10 seconds. It's must-win territory for Falcons. Liquefact trying to be the nuisance. Cyber, though, he gets a quad. It's all too easy for the reigning champions. 6 straight rounds, and this crowd at the Yanadas Arena is dead quiet. 6-match series, grand final appearance points. Faze on the verge of 3 straight grand final appearances.
Another deadly attack from Faze to cap off a perfect half. They look amazing right now. And you're right, you could hear a pin drop in this arena. It's 1-6 for Shaiko. The whole team struggling to have impact. I cannot fathom just how one-sided this map is playing out.
You know, the last time that FaZe played this map, you want to know, guys? It was back in groups against G2. They lost it. 7-0. What a turnaround to then go upper bracket final against Falcons, and now 6-0 up. The last time Falcons played this, it was 7-1 over Elevate. Admittedly, was the worst team at the event, but still dominated on Lair. 1 for Brede, 1 for Shaiko, 1 for users in an upper bracket final map 3. FaZe have just been too good. They've been far too good, and it's been that team effort that we spoke about pre-match.
Oh, yeah.
While the first 2 maps was the Handy show, everyone else has now risen. 6-2 for KDS. Cyber's 8-2, Souls is 9-1, Vidaking's positive. The irony is Handy, the star on the first 2, is the only one negative. And they go straight to top floor, the best defensive site. This has 7-0 all over it, and what does that then do to the mental of Falcons going down to the lower bracket?
Does it start to plant the seed of doubt as to whether or not Falcons can even make the grand final on home
Floxo and
soil?
Secret are sitting back thinking we can probably get them. The crowd goes quiet if they don't get rounds. They go quiet if they don't have success. They're vulnerable in the big games.
Loading new mag.
And FaZe now, provided they close this out, are the dead set, overwhelming favorites to claim a second straight hammer. Let's be honest. The way they've been playing, straight through the upper bracket.
Some aggressive ops extension here from FaZe with the keep the barriers and the mirror window. The Shamika launcher as well, layering so much utility to try and stall out the push from Falcons, to stall out the push forward from Shaiko, trying to make his life as difficult as possible down below.
Oh, okay, that's 1, and pretty early in the round. There's 2 minutes left, so you get rid of Cyber, you can start to put pressure onto Mezzanine through the skeleton key of Liquefact. He does still need to be careful. Now, Vidaking and Souls can certainly shoot back from above. Drone comes through. There's got to be always that little doubt in your mind if you're facing it. Okay, well, let's make sure we lock this up as quick as possible. They more than anyone know about what comebacks can look like in this game.
So here comes the ops control, finally, from Falcons at the midpoint of the round. They can push forward and start thinking about hard breach in towards that default position. Liquefact as well is still lurking below, and that can come into play later in the round.
They've given up
Soul's Master Office.
They've given up Mez. It's a right play for FaZe. They say, okay, there's just about a minute left. They're gonna over-number us in that position. Let's fall back. KDS will go display, Handy will play server, and they'll kind of play as a 2-2 split towards the side, but KDS caught by Shaiko. Well, the pressure's off now, Falcons, isn't it? Because you're 6-0 down. You have to go for it. It might have been a little too late. It's still not done just yet. Big kill for Souls. He maintains his position in sight, and Liquefact is still below.
Yep.
So it's only technically a 3v3 directly on this top floor.
Shamika Launcher is breaking up this attack. Handy elsewhere with a Nitro in hand, looking to have impact himself. 40 seconds on the clock and a clean shot from Brede.
Time will become a factor for sure, though, if they leave this too late. Need to push in. 30 seconds. Go, go, go. You've got to try and make sure you push past the Shamika launcher. Here comes Handy. Push up, close, headshot onto Shaiko. Gets rid of the Grim. 3v2. Falcons still have the extra player, but Handy is just so good. It's going to be down to the 1v1. Brede going for the plant inside of Mars, because Vidiking makes his move. The Shamika
He's
launcher
off.
couldn't end it. It pushes him off, and indeed 7-0. Faze are into their third straight SI Grand Final, and it's so well deserved for the best team in Rainbow Six Siege, as Falcons get taught a lesson and are sent to the lower bracket.
Absolutely no doubt that Faze well and truly deserve that series win, and that will be a shattering result for Falcons.
7-0?
How do they rebound in the lower bracket?
In their home arena, in their home country. What is going on? That shouldn't happen. They go lower bracket now. And with it all to prove, all to respond to, everyone after today will be saying and continue to say that Falcons cannot get it done in the big matches, guys. That is their concern to deal with moving forward. But for Faze, they're the best. They have now got a third straight SI Grand Final position locked up, and so deserved.
And the back-to-back for Faze. Oh, it looks so tantalizing. The way they have been playing at this event and their ability to win so many rounds from uncomfortable positions will serve them so well in a best of 5, in high-pressure moments. They go in, for me, as the favorite to lift that hammer.
It doesn't matter who they play for me. Going into that grand final now, doesn't matter if it's Fluxo, doesn't matter if it's Secret, certainly doesn't matter if it's Falcons. Faze are the dead set favorites. It's on them to make it now 2 straight in a row, from Boston to Paris, looking to do it again after what felt like maybe should have been a win in Sao Paulo, but that fueled them to greater and greater heights as